Hello, everyone, and welcome to the latest, most important Thrones podcast currently available to you, The Second Sons. This is our first episode, which I've been told is entitled Killer Clowns of Westeros. And I am Roy Rogers, one of the people who is one of the organizers of the New York City Meta. And with me is, in some order,
Roy, this opening sucks. What the fuck?
Aaron Glazer.
Why are you being so serious? Like, that's the wrong podcast. This is the White Book. You're not Will Lentz. Cut that shit.
I
That's
love
Aaron
this.
Glazer.
That's perfect. Great. Thank you.
Also of the New York Meta. And then that was Buzz Aldrin
Red Bull.
of the Swedish Meta. And also somewhere around here is our fourth
Massive
panel.
shoulders and arms, thick as the trunk of small trees.
Dark Naj of Beyond the Wall and just all around great Canadian would be.
Since we were doing Will Lentz things, I thought we'd open with the old school podcast quote from the book. Anyone know what that quote's from?
No.
That's the description of the mountain bitches. Yeah.
Oh, man. So you know that part at the beginning of banter where like this episode is the worst, so it might be the last. That's actually true here. When we're done with this, we're just like, God, that was terrible.
And
Let's
then we're
never
back in
speak of this
2
again.
weeks.
Yes. So the key thing that separates us from many other podcasts that all of us are on, we are not a weekly podcast. We are basically, if you didn't know, the White Book recently reorganized, and they now have 2 teams of people headed by Will Lentz, Team Left and Team Right. Aaron is exiled for 2 episodes a month. And so this is his way of sharing his Thrones feelings with you, and of course us as his friends and loved ones are dragged along for the journey.
The real problem is I can't jerk off with my left hand when I'm Team Left. So really, like, I need to do something with my right hand, right?
I think the real problem is that you've obviously not drank enough. Like, you're only at this level where I can still understand what you're saying. And I know you're trying to achieve more than that, Aaron.
So here's my bottle of whiskey. This is how much is left.
So this is I am drinking Brooklyn Defender ale. All right, I'm the one drinking beer here. So
I like that one. Yeah, it's great.
Brooklyn is
it's very good.
And
I
John,
didn't eat cake.
John is on a sugar
Cake
high.
why did you stop drinking, John?
for my health.
Oh.
Cake.
And that was the sound, by the way, if you couldn't quite pick it up with the mic, was the sound of Aaron's heart breaking in like about a million different ways
You
at
have
one time.
no idea how much I'm going to make John drink at Gen Con.
Oh.
He's going to make up for all these months. Of
All
that.
I know is I am not sharing a bed with Aaron and John. If Aaron is going to drink that much at Gen Con.
Have we ever told that conversation live on air? Told that story on air? I mean, might as well now.
Oh, no.
So yeah, I went to Montreal and met up with Aaron for an SC. I was sick, so I couldn't drink. And for some reason, he felt that his whole entire SC and his whole experience in Montreal, even though there
It was a
40 people there-
regional.
okay, whatever, 40 people there, was hinged on me drinking with him. So when I didn't, he went out with the other 39 people, got plastered beyond belief, came back, and when I was sleeping, he came in, and the first thing he did was kick me. And I mean, not once. I mean, repeatedly while I was sleeping. And when I got up, after he was kicking me, he punched me in the face. And when I said, "What the fuck is going on?" he said, "You didn't drink with me. I hate you."
Well, there's a couple things missing. John only took about 2 out of every 3 blows because I was sleeping on the bed between the 2 of them and was throwing myself in between Aaron's various kicks and punches. And I was unbelievable. The only reason I was able to do this is because I was also unbelievably drunk because we had gone out in Montreal.
I almost got you laid. Shut up.
All right, that's beer number 2.
Do you have? Oh, you have 3 next to you. You're more skilled than I am. My ice is all in the freezer. All right. Should we talk about anything Thrones related?
Okay, well, that was nominally
Maybe.
Thrones related. Okay, so on the agenda for tonight is we're going to be talking about this product that comes out tomorrow, which is called Wolves of the North, which I believe is the Targaryen? No, Stark box. That everyone's been so patiently waiting for. Where do we want to start with the Stark box? Do we just want to take the cards in order?
Wait, we didn't even discuss how we're rating cards. We've got 3
yes.
ratings. They are shitty, which means we're not going to talk about the card. I don't even want to hear discussion. We're going to move on. There's put it in a deck. Like the new Sansa is a good example. Like she's a good card. You stick her in a deck. And then there's Beard. Buzz, can you explain Beard?
It's magnificent and goes in any deck.
There you go. So we've got shitty, put it in a deck, and Beard.
Okay.
Oh, we're also not reading cards to you because if you don't know cards, this is probably the wrong podcast for you.
Also, at the current state of inebriation of several of our hosts here, they can't read. So we will be reading, we'll be saying the names of cards at the very end.
Oh, hey, if you think we messed up, message
We don't
one of
care.
us. No, message one of us on Skype. Hop on Skype from the Twitch. Tell us you're going to. Message us on Skype. You can jump on this call. We will add you to this call so you can yell at us and tell us why we're stupid.
Can maybe Roy post his Skype
Yeah,
ID
it's such a good idea.
My Skype ID.
in the
Is-
chat?
Oh, I don't have the Twitch chat open. I should probably do that because mostly just my.
I
Don't act like we're going to be good at this, Buzz.
Hold on.
You have me awake at 2 a.m. to make you a live stream, and I want it to be okay.
Well,
I'm
I
going
want you to be drunk and be a dick, but you refuse.
Well,
Okay, Buzz can never be a dick.
You have no
Buzz's
idea.
beard actually prevents it.
I actually have the live stream open now, and A+ Buzz on John's photo. I'm incredibly excited.
can move it up a little bit.
Okay, so I'm gonna put it in the chat. My Skype name, like everything else that I do, is Faux Intel.
Spell it out, Roy. Spell it out.
FAUXINTEL.
And that's why we're team right now.
Oh,
Nope.
boy.
I don't know. Want to talk about cards?
Okay, sure.
Okay. All right. Let's move over here. Okay. So the first card number 1 in the box, King Rob's Host.
Shitty unless you're playing melee, and we don't talk about melee.
John,
What? We don't
But he's
talk about
drinking.
melee?
I disagree as well.
We
This is
don't-
one of the great things. We can, yes, let's talk about melee. I think this is a good card in Stark. Put it in.
Well, I wouldn't go that far.
So it's shitty. If it's not good, it's shitty. There's no in
it's not a
between.
beard, but I think the card will see play in certain decks. It's a big body, which is nice. It's got some power rush, and it's good melee, which all are good to me because melee is important.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I think it's a good melee card. I think
I want to hear Buzz's opinion. Buzz,
So, yeah, okay, go.
No, you're Buzz. That's
Okay,
your
I'm
name.
Buzz.
Buzz.
Okay, great. So I'm sitting here trying to get it up on stream, but it's apparently not in the card game database
No,
thingy.
here's what you use.
Oh, well.
Just keep on this page, and people will be fine. Use that page.
I don't remember what it does.
I just it's
It steals a power, right?
God, we're refused. I just
Rob's
dropped it in the
Host.
Skype tab. Open
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
cost 8.
8/8 steals.
Military
Oh, I
and
hate you. God damn it.
8 strength. House Stark. Loyal. Unique. Army trait. Keywords, no attachments. Reactions, after you win a military challenge in which King Rob's Host is participating, move 1 power from the losing opponent's faction card to an attacking character. 2 power instead if there's a war plot revealed.
So I will play the shit out of this in melee, but in the future, I don't think it's that viable to spend 8 gold on him right this moment. Maybe I would like to spend Eddard is better, probably. Maybe a Shad and a Rob is better. Just getting the war present out is way more important at the moment, I think. But I've played 1 game of melee so far, so...
So wait. Which of the 3 ratings do you give it?
In the future,
No,
Weird.
now. We're
Now?
not the future. We don't exist in the future.
what's the middle one? It goes
We
in
are-
a deck, right?
It goes in a deck.
Yeah, in melee at least. For sure, yeah.
You guys are soft. Your ratings and bullshit.
Why doesn't Card Game DB have all of these?
Oh.
It has all the
does.
cards.
No.
Go to date add. Click on date added as
No,
and it
in the
puts them in
builder.
order. Oh, in the builder. Yeah, I'm just using it on the cards page.
Yeah.
I'll put it in the Skype chat for you, my friend. All right, so James
Card
Brennan
games.
has like to add me on Skype.
So, John, what did you think about this magnificent card?
I think it's good. And wait, I already told you what I think.
Did you?
John doesn't listen when John talks. Hey, I can't actually see the updates in the whatever chat. So, message the shit out of Buzz if we mess up.
What? No, I can't touch my Skype, or you guys are
Oh
gonna
no,
fuck
sorry,
up on
sorry.
stream.
Message the shit out of Roy
Yes.
if we are wrong. If that card is amazing, you should message Roy and tell us we're all stupid. I mean, only one of us has a card design. We can't be that smart. And his is for
What?
Melee.
No, it's not.
John is an overall champion.
Yeah, I'm
refuse to
overall.
Yeah, he's better than all of us at everything. That's a clear thing.
Overall, you know what overall means? I probably didn't win Joust.
It means I took second in Joust.
Yep.
But I still won the most games that day.
Hey, we're gonna slop people throughout apparently, because slops to second place Seth because he was supposed to be here. He's like, "Oh no, I can't make it. I'm such a bitch. I am always second place." So fuck you,
He
Seth.
does have a lot of second places.
Yeah, it's his main skill. Not
Didn't he
winning.
get 3 of them
That
last year?
probably
So.
actually, yeah, I think that probably actually makes him good.
No, I don't think so. Because like he had to.
Consistently second place. That was pretty freaking good.
Someone once told me that it's consistency in cuts that makes a good player, not necessarily
so
always taking home the ring.
Roy, you're such an asshole. Did you just say Seth should cut himself for not winning?
I did not say that.
That's what I heard. Seth should really cut himself for not winning.
Oh, Glazer. All right, so next card is Catelyn Stark. Thoughts, my friends?
Bueller.
John,
go.
I think she's solid. She's a 7-coster. She's definitely a power-grabbing engine. The fact that her strength increases with that power puts you in a stronger position to win more power challenges. So I think once she's on the board, she kind of sets a timer to your opponent. They either have to turn off your sacrifice tech or not attack you military, or they have to deal with her very quickly. So I think she's probably better than a lot of people think. And I think they look at the old cat and they say, wow, why would I ever play this one over that old one, which was so good? But I think this one's going to have a place in the Power Rush tempo decks that Stark is probably going to come up with out of this box. At least that's where I see her. Yep. So I'm going to say she is in a deck, but she's not a beard.
Really? I think she's a beard. Like, I mean, not every deck, but like, if you're using her and the opponent can't military, that's usually a good way to win games.
Right, but a beard is in every deck.
True.
Like Eddard Stark is a beard, and he has a fantastic beard. But
wait, which Eddard is a beard? He's the next card, you spoiler bitch.
I also agree with John. Firmly goes index, and is a build around card. That's it.
Yeah,
Buzz.
I'm leaning towards shitty. I really do. I really do. She's 7 for 5, right? I mean, she's an intrigue icon, but I mean, I like the Direwolf tech better, and I think I would have liked 2 strength maybe maybe a 7/4 and 2 strength per power. That would be more interesting.
She's easily gaining 1 or 2 power every round.
Yeah, but when she has 4 power, you've basically won. I mean, if you're winning the challenges and putting power on her, you're also grabbing the power challenge claim. So after 2 or maybe 3 rounds, you won anyway. She won't get that big.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, she'll still be 7 strength or something. 8 strength, you know? That's pretty good.
You know what she's really good with? Wildfire. But I don't know if Stark likes Wildfire, because Stark has more good cards than everyone else.
So this store champ I played that I won with Stark.
Oh, fancy pants!
I played
when
Wildfire,
I won,
and it's so good. It's so good in Stark. It's great.
Yeah, it would be very interesting to see. I mean, I think she is really good with Wildfire. I also think she's. I mean, we should swap Nate for this. She's also, because it's not thematic. She's also, of course, good with Jon Snow. Like the nice thing is, she can get away from an opponent if she's in play for longer than a round. Like this card. This is a card that definitely, as John said, if you don't answer this immediately, Stark just everything Stark wants to do, she gives you power for, which is, kill characters so you can stand Rob, sacrifice characters so you can stand Rob, or if you just have John, sacrificing characters so you can stand characters. Like she's just this massive synergistic engine that wins games like that. If you,
I want to go back to something Buzz said, talking about Wildfire on Stark. I think this is a good point to discuss. Why does Stark actually leverage Wildfire? One of the reasons that I see is that some of Stark's, I'll say, kill effects or non-tricky but interesting effects are directly in play, which means it's an ice or a lady or a needle on someone, and because they can play with these nice attachments that make big differences on the board state, they can put them on the characters that won't die to Wildfire and still have that investment that they prepaid prior to the Wildfire in play. So, while an opponent might be able to keep a 7-cost character and a 2-cost character and a 6-cost character, Stark would be able to do the same, but then they'd have another 6 gold or 7 gold for this economic advantage in attachments that are on these other characters, giving them the oomph they would need to clear the board further. Is that kind of why you were saying that, Buzz, or is there other reasons?
Wait, time out? Because that's the smartest thing John has said in like 3 years. I listened to Beyond the Wall, and John hasn't said shit that was that smart. Am I wrong?
Well, we're just stealing quality content from Alex. You don't understand. That's the entire
That's the
point of
point.
this.
Oh.
Yeah.
So I like Wildfire because, one, it was a meta call. People had no clue I was playing Wildfire when I did, and it's like, what are you doing? You're playing Stark. You shouldn't play Wildfire. And so it worked out.
That's how Swedish people speak, by the way.
Yeah. We do.
I thought he
They
was playing
speak
like
in
an animal,
English
like
as well, by the way.
a dog playing poker, but it's a dog playing Thrones. Like, hey, I'm gonna play Thrones.
But
All right, that's the next photo we're going to use for this place. Is dogs playing.
if we have on the Wildfire turn, if they have exhausted their hands a little bit, maybe they play 1 or 2 characters, and Greywind is probably gonna take care of one of the chumps, and then Ice becomes better, Claim becomes better, Winter's Coming becomes way better on that turn, and it's great. Also, it's a high initiative. It's usually a plot you could play at maybe around 4 or 5, and you win. You go first, you stealth with Arya, Renown, bam, you win.
Hey, how many Arya do you run right now?
In that deck, I ran 2, and I haven't played Stark since.
How many
Got his win and he was happy.
How many Arya do you run in 2 months?
Which one?
In 2 months. Oh God.
We'll get to Arya. All right. Speaking of spoilers, let's move to the next card.
Fine.
Next card, Eddard Stark. Why don't we go with Andreas? What do you think of Stark?
Let me put
Eddard
up
Stark.
it on stream first. Wait.
Okay.
Regular, bam, transition. Great. Okay, so Eddard Stark. I like him. The first one is great. I'm the only one I see him play him in Stockholm.
Really?
But, yeah. And I know you love him, Aaron, but
Yeah.
and that's how I learned to love him. But it's kind of the same thing but cheaper. And the only big problem I've had with Stark is economy, which is why I play Fealty. And one cheaper, better strength. It's great. Why not?
Yeah, this is. Oh, go ahead. Aaron.
First edition had a card that got 2 renown for each renown it got. It was Robert Baratheon. It remained good from the core set to the end of the game.
Mhm.
I feel like this is the same kind of idea.
Well, it's not just about his renown, right? It's the fact that his cost ratio is just awesome.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, true.
6 for 6 is great. Just great in this game.
Yeah, this fucker's really hard to Dracarys. That's like, as Stark, like that's just one of the main. You really love characters that are really hard to Dracarys because right now Stark, at least in my experience with Stark, I don't know if Andreas had this problem with his store championship win, but when I was doing well with Stark, like the only matchup I really was afraid of was Targ. And this guy really helps with that. It's 6 for 6, and he has a sweet beard, and he accelerates your power gain. Like, there's nothing to not like about him, except that he does share the somewhat similar problem that I found with the Corset Eddard, which is that he's not loyal. And sometimes if Stark ends up in like a tight economy situation where you want an impactful character on the higher end, and you don't quite have enough money to play him. 6 makes it a little easier than 7, but definitely times with the Corset Eddard, I would top deck him and be like, oh, this card would change the game for me, but just because I'm Stark, I didn't have the economy necessarily to play him. And that's the only problem I can see with this Eddard, who is a beard.
Yeah, it's a beard for me as well, of course.
All right. Blackfish. John,
Wait, we didn't rate Eddard.
we did.
Beard, we said.
All of us
Yeah.
rated.
Oh, he's
beard.
totally a beard.
Yeah. Okay. I want John to rate the Blackfish, since the Blackfish
Beard.
is the card design of his nemesis.
Nemesis. It's
Yes,
a beard.
Nemesi.
Wait, what was he in first edition?
He was my nemesis in first edition.
No, what would you rate this card in first edition? Shitty, put it in a deck, or beard?
Put it in the deck.
Oh, really? In first edition, I think it was shitty.
No.
It's like, did you run this in first edition?
not in
One in a Stark
Joust.
deck.
Oh, okay.
Oh, melee.
Cares
Okay,
about
okay.
melee.
No, I did run him in some Joust decks, but they, janky first round win stuff.
Yeah, but you know what I call melee? Shit DC cheats to win in. That's what melee is. Melee is just shit DC cheats to
Oh
win
my
in.
goodness.
That's all it is. Unless they try and cheat against each other and John gets a lucky win, it's shit. It's shit DC cheats to win it. Melee doesn't count.
Okay then. Aaron is super opinionated today.
And super drunk.
That is
And
not
any
a
other
mistake.
day,
That's
he
just
is
the truth.
what?
It's just super
Okay.
opinionated.
Yeah, exactly. I love Melee. I think it's a good game. I played in lots of Melees. I really enjoy it. I think it depends on definitely who you play with, Aaron. I mean, and also, Aaron, I understand because your strength in Melee, being fourth on every table can make you sad after a while.
DC has handed me wins in melee. It's fine. This is my only wins, but DC has given me wins. Hey,
I'm just
what
joking.
happens if
I'm
you play
seasoning.
with the designer of this card in melee?
I've never had a good experience playing Eric Butzloff in a cut. I think he knocked me out of 3 cuts at Gen Con year after year and once at Worlds, and it makes me sad. And every time I met him on the Swiss, I was able to beat him, which is just even worse. So he designed a good card. I think it's better in 2.0 definitely than it was in 1.0. There's more ways to get that power on him, to turn that effect on, even though it's a higher count. I actually really like the card, and I think the draw for Stark right now and where we are at in the game is pretty important. And I think this one is better than the one where someone has to participate. Remember, you just have to win that military challenge. He doesn't have to be in there to get that draw. That's a big thing. Yeah.
Yo, somebody?
Was it limit once per phase in 1.0? Excuse me.
No.
It was also 3 power.
Yeah, it was only that I do remember. It was only 3 power. Yeah, I mean, this is a beard. I mean, it's sad that the Blackfish doesn't have a beard, and neither does Eric. Like, it's a very on the beard count level of a card, it fails. But as a card, it's definitely a beard.
As a card, it's a beard. As a person, Eric is a problem. But, besides that,
All right.
no,
for
legitimate. Wait, legitimately.
Oh,
This
God.
card is fantastic. This is the card you leave attachments on. This is a card that, like this is one of the few cards in the game where if I have ice on it, I might not trigger ice's effect because the strength is more valuable on this card than it would be to kill something.
So am I the only one who says it's put it in a deck card?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Because
All right,
I
Andreas, why-
think
why, yeah.
I certainly think it depends on what kind of deck it's gonna be.
I think you're going to run one of him in a lot of decks for draw, and then some decks you're going to run 3 of him because you're going to build a deck around him.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, exactly. That's what
I'd
I'm
say he's
thinking.
a 2x. Like, it's just Stark's draw. I mean, as John said, he's better than Roderick because you just have to win a military challenge, not have X number of participating characters. and the renown. I don't know. I think he's at least a 2 of in most Stark decks. I mean, if we get better 6-cost characters, yes, but I think he's a 2 of.
He's immediately better than Roderick. I agree, for sure. Anytime. He has renown, and he does several things. But it's a 6 for 4. It doesn't do much for the board. I mean, you get a 6 for 5 for Rob, and it's a superb effect. Eddard, the same, basically. Stuff that makes things on the board. Ice and Arya and Eddard and Rob. That's a Greywind, of course. Greywind is, in my opinion, best card in Stark.
Super beard. Yep. I agree.
Yeah,
I think it's a great card. I don't think it's the best in Stark.
Anyway.
Well, it's best in Stark before the box, at the very least.
Fair.
So I think
Still might be.
I think that Stark, more than other houses, needs stuff that takes control of the board, so they don't fall behind. I don't like this 6 for 4. I mean, he's great. If you're ahead, you're just gonna win. But I don't like the 6 for 4. Doesn't do much for the board kind of thing.
I feel like the renown he puts forward really does do a lot for the board, and that if they don't answer him fast, that he's never going to kneel
But
and make other characters not
Fast.
kneel.
If your deck's not built around him, fast is 4 plots. Like that's not that fast.
I don't know. I don't think you have to do that much to build. Like Jon Snow will help him get an extra power around. Like there's lots of little ways to get him extra power.
That's why I think he's a solid 1 of. And then if you're building a deck to actually take advantage of him, where you're running a bunch of attack, then he comes in at a 3 of. But
Yeah, I don't think he's a more than a 1 of because of that building around him. I think he's more of the 1 of because he's draw on top of all that build around potential. Draw is good. Hey,
so hold on. Alex would like to know what our rating system is again. Aaron, would you like to tell everyone?
Sure. We've got shitty, put it in a deck, and beard.
And
Is that okay?
They're asking, do we have anything greater than beer? And of course, the answer is no.
What the
how
fuck
could
would
there
be
be something greater than a
beard?
beard?
Have you listened to Great Beards of Westeros? It's the second best podcast that exists. The first best is banter. The first best is banter behind the throne.
We all agree that.
Yeah, no one's arguing with that, right?
Even Will agrees. Okay.
It's banter, great beards, and then John and I fight to the death.
Yes. With popsicles.
Speaking of fighting to the death, the next
Wait.
card-
I've got a question for like Thrones related stuff. Is anyone else finding Roderick not that good?
I haven't played him yet because I don't think he's that good at all. People in Stockholm have been laughing at me, like, "What are you doing?" You know, the way Stockholmians speak, and I'm alone. They don't agree.
I found him to be very good in the Store Championships that I came in 3rd, so I didn't win, so maybe that shows you with Stark. But I think he's good. Like, I don't think he's great. I think the black, if actually in all the Stark decks that I've been conceptualizing since
Going to get ice.
I cut him for the Blackfish. I think he's outshined by the Blackfish, but I think he's what Stark needed when he came out.
But I mean, I think there are several. Even before the Wolf Box, there were several like philosophies behind the deck building in Stark. Were you like a more murder kind of Stark, or
No, I was more of a tempo Stark. That's what I think.
Okay.
I think that's where Stark's strengths lies.
Yeah, me
the
too.
tempo game.
I agree, and that's where I don't play Roderick. I think he's good in a military one. That just okay. I make my military challenge. I draw 3 cards. Now it's your turn. But
Sorry, that's my that's my booze opening. Excuse me.
okay. But I don't find him very good in the tempo one because he's not a good tempo card. 6 for 4 again.
The things I liked about Roderick, one is I generally, if I, at least in my games that I played, I found if I cycled Roderick or if I just drew 1 card off of him, I was happy. He also ate Dracaris's for me, where like so many Targ players were just afraid of Roderick that they would just immediately drac him, and that's a drac that's not hitting Rob, Arya, any of the other like really impactful characters. Even Sansa is pretty impactful in Stark Fealty. And so that made me happy. Like for me, he was just an additional threat that people either overreacted to. Actually, all the people I played at overreacted to him, and if I cycled him or saw 1 or 2 cards from him, I was pretty happy. I mean, he was just never someone that I changed my strategy entirely because of Roderick.
So Roderick is a one of in some decks, which makes him put him in a deck.
Yes. Next
Okay.
card?
Next card, Jon Snow.
This is the Roy card.
Weird. I love Jon. I mean, not only do I love Jon the character, but I love
You're
him as an
fantastic,
additional
Roy.
engine.
No, Roy, you just know nothing.
I do. It's true. It's true. I'm also no Stark father.
Ooh. Oh, that's sad. All right, ratings? Or
Beard.
thoughts?
So,
He's a beard.
yeah.
We're all gonna go beard, except Buzz, who hates every card.
Except for, I'm going to guess he likes Wolves of the North, but we'll get to there.
No, I don't. Anyway,
Buzz doesn't like cards. Unless I put them in a deck, then he loves them.
yeah. I mean, you're gonna give me a great Stark deck, and Jon Snow is gonna be
really
3
am.
off. And I'm gonna be, oh my god, this card is so good. But until then, I think I'm gonna play 1, maybe 2 in many Stark decks, but not all of them. So he's somewhere between beard. He could be a beard until I see the light, I think he's going a deck kind of stuff. Often 1 of, I think.
So I think Stark decks run either Rob or Cat, or obviously some combination of the two.
Excuse me.
And when you're there, that Jon Snow makes it better. That's why he's a beard, even though that bitch needs to learn to grow facial hair. Maybe when he comes back from the dead.
I think Aaron's right. He's an enabler. He does everything Stark wants to do. You need to kill something to stand up. All your guys with Rob, you need to gain power on Cat. This is the guy that does it. And this is all outside just the idea that stand is good. And Stark is actually in a nice place for these low-cost characters, or these characters that have fantastic utility or value early in the game and then lose value later. And I'm talking about characters like the new Sansa, who is really, really good, but as soon as you have some people in your dead pile, she's kind of dead weight. And this is where you want to be able to sack her to get stand or for some other effect, so that her body still has a value to you. That sounded really bad.
Yeah, but
Since she's 13.
Gives flexibility to Rob builds, right? Because one of the things, like the best play in 2.0 right now is killing your own character with Grey Wind, standing everyone, and then killing one of your opponent's characters with Grey
That's
Wind.
the best play in 2.0.
Yeah.
I love it. It's so satisfying.
I'm
Like-
going to pee because that is not the best play in 2.0.
That's one of the big issues, though, in the current Stark builds, is that if they can actually shut down Grey Wind, not Stark, if they can kill Grey Wind with a Tears or something, it can just your deck can fall apart because you don't have that sack effect.
so yeah,
But
when
John
I
gives you redundancy.
when I saw Rob and when I played Stark, I was thinking, if only there was an on-demand sacrifice. And now we get it. And it's probably gonna be a beard, but I haven't tried it yet. And for me, a 5/4 Monicon, until I've tried it, it's gonna be a put in a deck thing. But I see why you think it's a beard, for sure.
All right. John,
Quick,
you
let's
said
go through them before Aaron gets back. Go, go, go.
Yes.
Wolves of the North.
Not super
John?
excited.
Go.
Buzz?
Shit, I guess, because we only have 3 ratings. So, shit, I'm guessing.
I'm trying to find it here on Card Game DB so I can put it on the stream.
Well,
I
John,
don't
while
know.
he's finding it, what do you
I don't
think,
think it
John?
should. I think it's probably going index.
Okay. Why?
I think it allows Stark players to find Grey Wind, who we know is an important thing, even if it doesn't come into play. So it's a nice search effect. But it also allows for some of the key attachments. So some Stark decks are actually going to be really focused on like Lady
Wait.
or
Wait,
We're talking about the character,
wait.
John.
Wolves of the
Oh.
North, not
Well,
not the
Not
next
Wolf
one.
Troopers.
Oh, sorry. I was looking at the wrong picture. Then Wolves of the North is crap because it's only good in a full wolf deck. I'm done.
Yeah. Okay. So at the moment it's shitty, but it's gonna be so good in I don't know a year. If you can make a Wolfswood deck finally someday, this could be really good.
Yeah. Like, living the dream is reducing someone's strength down to 2 and then eating it with Grey Wind.
Yeah, I mean that is living the dream. That's the first thing I thought of when I saw this card is like reducing someone's Danny down to 2 strength and then eating her, which would make me feel really good. But I don't think that'll happen very often.
Yeah, I don't think we're not there yet, and it's gonna be a while. But I don't really see what's. I mean, we have all the dogs, no?
Yes, but some are characters and some are attachments.
Right.
Yeah,
we have
but
all
it
of
doesn't
the-
matter because
We don't have a Stark
They're
Ghost.
wolf cards.
So
Yeah. But
Oh, it's Cyro cards. Yeah, I feel like it's okay.
yeah, it's okay, but I don't think it's. I mean, the ability and the stealth, it's superb, but 5 for 3 Monocon? No.
So have you ever had to take a shit, and like, you mostly have to shit, but it's not really ready yet? This card is mostly shitty.
Oh my god.
Okay, Arya Stark.
Like that Roy won't let me drunkenly rant on anything. It's a shame. Go ahead.
Uh,
Wait. Time out. What's the chat saying? Does the chat want to yell at us yet?
Let's see. Shitty seems like a trap.
They have started talking about river and minstrels and stuff, so I don't know.
You
They,
filthy
they're
people.
probably not listening to us.
No,
They're having their own debate, so we'll leave them alone, and we'll ask Andreas. Tell us, what do you think about Arya?
So, I'm gonna try her tomorrow with proxies because we don't have the box yet. I think if she works, she would be so good, and it's tempting to play her now in the first snow because I don't think Stark handles it very well.
Do you see the
Um,
cat?
What?
The cat on my chest.
I'm not looking at you. Yes, we see.
See him.
And she's an intro icon. I mean, but she's competing with a core Arya. I mean, of course you have to choose either of, and I think this is either it's a beard in the decks you use her,
Oh.
and she's shitty otherwise, and you're gonna play the core.
Did you play first edition?
Yeah.
I disagree. I think she is shit, and mainly because she's Arya. I think the
Okay.
the main problem is Corset Arya is just a ridiculous card that is amazing, and there's just I like her in theory in the first no meta, as you were saying, but just I don't know. I can't. Just a self-duping stealth character that when you draw extra dupes of her makes her a better card than other cards that you dupe. I don't know.
I think
I
we're
can't-
gonna see cards that will suddenly make her amazing. Maybe even, I mean, broken stuff. And
Like
you-
what?
I don't know.
I mean, you can run her. You can do a Targ Wolf deck because it's not printed strength, so you can use, Targ's reduce effects to kill characters, but it has to, of course, be
But
a
you
Stark
have to kill
character
a
that's
Stark
killed.
character.
Yeah,
Right.
so
Like, you're gonna kill your own Stark character because they have reduced strength to against someone else's.
Sacrifice the sacrifice area to kill that other person's character.
That's an
Yeah.
awful lot of kill to get someone of 3 strength or lower.
She would be way better if it was after a Stark character you control is killed or sacrificed.
yeah.
You know what
Yes.
would make
Just the
her?
1.0.
You know what would make her way better? If she were a good card. She's the shit back.
With the bad, yeah, I think she's a 4 gold. It's basically says pay 4 gold to kill a character with strength 3 or less. Not super excited about that.
No, pay 4 gold to let one of your guys die. Then
Yes, well, it's pay 4 gold after one of your characters die too.
So you now lose 2 cards. I guess you lose 2 cards and they lose 1.
for winning the
And
challenge, they're
if-
going to win anyway.
When they treachery it, you weep inside.
I wouldn't even treachery it. What Lannister card of 3 or lower am I sad that they're killing?
Well, someone's use these new wolves. They've reduced one of your important characters down to 3. They're like, yeah, and you're like treachery, and they're just like, no.
At that point, honestly, you just don't kill a Stark character. Like you just don't like if you were at that point, you don't have treachery. It's like, you know what? I'll forego military for.
Oh no, they also had to use their own Grey Wind to kill the character. There was like
Oh,
this whole
okay.
series of tempo that happened. That's what I'm talking about.
All right,
And
so
then the treachery happens, and there's sadness.
here, ready? This is the worst card in the game.
That's
No, but
worse than
No, it's
Brandon's
not.
gift.
I'm calling it now. In maybe within 2 years, some French guy is gonna come to a tournament and wreck
Some French
face.
guy.
Yeah. You know, they built the stupid cycling decks and stuff.
So
They're deck builders
French
or
people
whatever.
are stupid. Did I hear that from
No,
Buzz?
no, they built stupid
No.
decks. You know, like
Never
my
let him
melee
stay at
deck.
your house again. Oh yeah, really.
But
Okay.
Talking
anyway,
about your
Sérieusement,
people's
les,
champion
les
melee
Français,
deck, Andreas?
Wait.
Magnifique.
Legitimately, what card in the game is worse than this?
Brandon's
Right
gift.
now.
Rated
All right,
Screamers.
right
yeah.
now, Brandon
Bam.
Gift's is worth, but Brandon's gift has more upside because economy wins games right now.
Oh my god.
Okay. It does.
Okay.
So, Jory Cassell. I'll go first. This is the definition of a one-of card.
I accept that. I know people that are running 3.
Yeah. Why don't you run 3?
Because he's at a decent but sometimes awkward cost slot, and you kind of want him to die.
No,
No?
you don't want him
No?
to die. You want him to be
No.
sacrificed.
Right?
Yeah.
Discarded.
Just discarded,
Oh, that's
so you
true.
can play him again,
Mm-hmm.
and he's saving all your beautiful people.
And I think
True.
Alex said you can save.
He can save himself,
If
right?
if you kill him
Ugh.
for claim, you can sacrifice himself.
Yes.
And
Yep.
yeah.
Or even in 2 claim, and then no one else dies. Well, no one ever dies. He
No.
just sacrifices.
Oh yeah.
I thought we had a whole new game, so shit like that.
Yeah, so you could choose him for claim and the other person, then save the other person with him, and then he just gets discarded.
Like, guys, I know you don't
Sexy.
know. New people, I know you don't know this, but 1.0 was awesome. And we have this whole new game, so shit like this doesn't happen. And here we are.
Yep.
Thanks, Beyond the Wall.
Hey, at least we tell you about these rules. Otherwise, when I pulled this off of you at the Gen Con final table, you'd be like, "That's not a rule." Then the judges would come over,
John.
who would be
Whoa,
Alex,
Nate
and
would
you'd
already
be
be
John,
on
I'm not
his
making a
phone
Gen Con final
watching.
table.
I've watched enough of these final tables. Nate will be on his phone reading while you guys are playing, and
They'll
then
be on his phone reading Alex's rulings.
and then then you'll be like Nate, and Nate will turn and he'll explain, and then someone's heart will break, and it will be a sad experience. But
Hey, the worst experience I had, John was at a final table with Corey from wherever the fuck Corey is from, not like famous Corey, Gen Con winning Corey, and like the guy won an intrigue challenge. The guy lost a challenge and put Venomous Blade back into Shadows. It was a 1.0 card. If you don't know, just ignore this portion. I'm not re-explaining everything. So he put Venomous Blade back into Shadows. So I'm like, hey Nate, I don't have a question for right now. I'm gonna have a question that I'm curious about. Can you like answer this for me? It's a ruling. I don't like, and Nate goes, yeah, no problem. I go, hey, does the passive from John's plot happen before that he can put that back into Shadows? Like, does he have to have an opportunity to do that? Does that happen passively? I really don't know how that works because Fury of the Lion was restricted for my entire time in 1.0. So I legit like it was restricted for fucking ever. So I legitimately was like, hey, how does this work? And he literally doesn't answer me. He turns around and goes, no, that gets discarded to Venomous Blade. And I was like, Nate, what the fuck? You just ruined the final table because I asked you for a ruling. And then everyone's like, what the fuck, dude? And I was like, look, like, when I cheat, and I will cheat, you'll know. No,
you mean
I'll
like when you put
out.
6 put to the swords in your deck, Aaron?
Yeah, I heard you got disqualified the last minute of your tournament.
I disqualified myself. My cat just bit me, by the way. My cat was upset at that story. He just bit my arm to go, what the fuck, you idiot?
Well, watching
Oh.
that Gen Con game on YouTube was my first exposure to Dark Nage.
No, I won't cheat, but I will, like, if I know a ruling better than you, then...
I think you should go back a few Gen Cons and watch the finally melee table where I get to play with Dan and French Run
that-
Mikey, where Mikey takes it down. That's there too.
Is that still on YouTube?
I've seen it.
I'll definitely watch that then.
I've seen
All
it.
right, so next card, River Run Minstrel.
Wait, we didn't rate
Just-
Jory, because he's
Just
a
so everyone's aware,
Big-
like
put it in a deck. No,
We-
because
got
War is like
15
a
minutes,
pack
right?
away. Oh, we gotta hurry up. Let's go. Read.
Okay, River Run Minstrel.
All right. It's a put it in a deck if you're running that kind of deck.
It's only that type of deck.
Yeah.
It's to help the Blackfish. It's to help the Rush. It's probably good in melee.
Yes.
That's for you, Aaron.
Yes.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Baird in
Yep.
melee, put it in a deck in just.
Yep.
Yep. Old Nan.
Wow, that was fast.
I'm not a lover of the Nan. I don't feel like the winter or summer plot, trait, ability stuff is developed enough yet to make her really good. But I think that we're going to see her being way more effective in the future. So I think that this card right now is probably not good, but it's probably going to become a put it in the deck.
Damn it. We've discussed this. If
It's a
not,
put it in the deck right now.
If it's
because
not good, it's shitty. And
It-
we're not.
Alright.
We can't
It's
read
shitty
the
now.
future.
Yeah, it's
It's
for
shitty
now.
now.
Yeah, yeah.
All right,
Shitty
I'm
now.
gonna be the outlier here. It's a put in the deck one of right now. It's an entry
Why?
deck. Stark likes that, and there's some winter
Bounce us
tech
the first
already
though.
existing in Stark right now. So
But the
One-
picture
one-
makes my children cry. It looks like a
Makes me
witch
cry a
that's
little
gonna
bit,
like.
too.
Let's see if it's for the same reasons. Why do you think she's a beard, Buzz?
So I don't know.
Shitty.
and
No card should ever do it.
she does have the best. She does have the best trait in the game,
Yes.
which is storytelling.
Alright.
All right. OSHA.
Do you have OSHA up, Buzz?
1 second.
3, 2, Buzz, raid OSHA.
It's up. Beard much?
Wow. Really?
Yes.
Okay.
I have to agree with Buzz.
I have to agree with Buzz.
Holy shit.
Let's see if it's for the same reasons. Why do you think she's a beard, Buzz?
So I don't know. Someone told me. No,
Because
but
no one built me this deck yet.
no, but she's an intrigue icon. For starters, she's another 3-coster, which I think I don't. It's Arya that's good, basically, and on Corsensa. She's so good with Kennel Master, and I love Kennel Master.
She's great with a bunch of Stark things, right? They have the location that 2 participating characters get +2 strength. You know, you can give her stealth through Sirio, and then she gets into the challenge, she stealths someone, and then she gets back out. You can use her for another challenge for that stealth. She has so many little interactions with Stark, and you're right, their 3-cost slot is actually one of their open slots.
How are you stealthing with her?
I gave her stealth through Sirio.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Right?
She's not loyal. Let's not forget this. She makes Banner of the Wolf a lot stronger.
Yep.
I don't think so. Banner Wolf has one weakness that she does not fix.
Which is
Banner of the Wolf is really weak to first snow. Almost everything you want is first snowable.
There's a lot of loyal cards in Stark. I agree. It makes bannering to them more difficult, and a lot of their synergies is actually based around either a grouping theme like Direwolves, or having a whole bunch of different uniques in the challenge. So that makes it more difficult.
I think it's a put in a deck. I don't think it goes in every deck. Like, it's a put in a deck. You're not going to do anything wrong with it. But,
You
like,
think-
does it go
Name
in?
a Stark deck that's not going to have one of.
I mean, Stark Lion? Stark... Any banners...
You're still running one of her.
Okay, no. I think most I honestly think most banner Stark decks, like in a Stark Fealty, a Stark Crossing, I think you're gonna run one of.
I mean, Stark
Which is where
Crossing is
Stark
just
plays
ridiculous.
best.
At Stark
Right.
Crossing.
But in a Stark banner, I feel like you're gonna choose a better banner card over her almost every time. So she's a putter in a deck.
I think what you're missing is the fact that there's not going to be a lot of Stark Banner. In fact, I would say that there's going to be way more Stark Fealty and Stark Crossing than there will be Banner decks. I'm not saying that there's no Banner decks, but I think the predominantly right now where the card pool's at, she is a beard, and she's going to go down in the future.
You know what's really interesting about this? That the next card is Bear Island Loyalist, since we're talking about fealty versus...
Because Roy knows there's a time limit.
So Bear Island Loyalist, this card is shit. Andreas?
I haven't. It's not up on the stream yet.
All right, Aaron.
It's the shittiest of the shitty cards. I thought Arya was bad, but then I read Bear Island Loyalist, and it was like, I can protect you from First Snow if you participate with me and don't do anything good. That
You
is
mean
such...
First Snow, which now happens at
No,
the
I'm sorry.
beginning of the phase,
The only card...
and it's a forced reaction.
Sorry, the only card I care about. Put to the sword. It
There we
can't
go.
actually protect you from put to the sword unless you actually commit your big guy with him, and that doesn't help because, I mean, you know what it's really good against? That double Night's Watch kneel to kill all military challenges.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you're against almost any other effect I can think of, it's a really bad card. I don't care that it exists. Oh, also, it's got 2 strength just to make sure it's extra burnable.
Yep. I hate it.
Anyone?
John?
I have to think that Aaron described the flaws of this card very well, which saddens me anytime Aaron does something well. But he's right on.
If you want me to do well, I can read everything perfectly the rest of the way.
I do have to talk about this card's one benefit. The gentleman who is the model of this card is a very nice guy. He's the manager of FFG Center's food service.
Wait, who's
People-
drilling?
Oh, that's my roommate. She's vacuuming. Sorry, folks. I can't control that.
Fuck 'em.
Anyway, next card is Sansa Stark.
The beardiest in this fucking pack? Holy shit, is this card awesome. Like, there's no point where I don't want to see this card unless I've got a dead copy.
I think you're right. I think we're going to see a lot of this new Sansa. However, the old Sansa is still going to fit into some Stark decks. It's not like the old Sansa is completely replaced by this. I think there's some power rush decks that are going to use the old Sansa still, which is great. It's a perfect place for a good card to be.
Yeah. If you're rushing, you run the old Sansa. If you're doing literally anything else that Thrones does, this is the Sansa for you.
Yeah, the,
Yep.
the only card who replaces her is herself, basically. Because
Yeah.
if you're playing
I think
Stark, you're gonna play one of them, either way.
Yeah, I think she's
Yes.
probably the best design card that we have duplicates of in the card pool right now. So.
Hey, can I do something I hate when we do on the other casts? The art on this card is terrible.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely better Sansa art in their
Everywhere?
It's not
in
terrible.
their card pool. It's not
It's
the
pretty
worst
good.
art.
She looks like a mannequin.
we
This
say
doesn't
that
look
for
like
Rickon.
a real person.
Like,
No, but
the Rickon art is legit, but
I mean the scene pictures is really great.
Sure, it's a good choice, but it's a bad... Like, it's badly done? Who drew this? Can we make fun of... Oh, I don't know who that is.
Natasha,
art.
someone.
But this
I'm
is
assuming
the core
someone
set
Italian.
from this is the core set from one point.
Look
So,
at all the
uh,
hand gestures.
Sansa, isn't it? The one that used to take attachments.
Yep.
But she is the Nedliest card, I think, in the pack. I like that, her strength gets lower the more Starks that are dead, but when the whole Stark family is dead, she's suddenly insightful. It's a
Hey,
really good design there.
Our good friend Luke, who's going to be on the White Book today, the only person we like that's on the White Book right now, is going to talk about Nedliness. So let's move on.
Okay, Shaggy. What do we think?
John, go.
Shaggy dog.
I mean, it pushes the direwolf theme, which has some value. It's well strength to cost ratio is nice there. However, he's a monocon that kind of draws him back. So I'm going to say he's a put in a deck.
I agree with John. I mean, there's no reason that you wouldn't run one of him instead of one. If you're going to run the direwolf pup in a deck, you want to run, 2 direwolf pups, 1 Shaggy.
Agreed.
Okay, House Tully Septon.
This card makes me sad.
Why?
Yeah.
Because it's...
Why?
I like it for one specific deck, but it's such a specific deck, and I don't know if that deck's any good. It's just a problem card. It's okay. It's a put in a deck until it sucks.
If we get more House Tully and the Septon cards, it gets better. It gets better with every House Tully and
Okay.
Septon card that we built.
Wait,
that they
ready?
print.
If you're running Blackfish and New Cat, you should probably run like 2 of these.
Yeah, I like it.
You're going to run a lot with Blackfish. Putting power on Blackfish for just playing a card is good.
Wait, Tully Septon doesn't put power. It discards a power to give to
It's the
reduce back
economy
to.
one we're talking about, John.
Oh,
Who is the
sorry.
one who has been drinking here?
I just can't see the cards, so I'm just going
The
by
cake
name
goes.
now.
The cake goes straight to John's head. We've been over this.
Yeah, it's true.
John likes cake and cock, but he's all out of cock.
Okay.
I miss you, Aaron. You know, it's not a lot, but I take what I can get when you're around.
By the way, like, despite our podcast affiliations, John and I do this every night.
They have a
Like,
great love story. All right,
like,
so
legit,
there's the
like-
movie Love Story, and then
This is
there's
the nice-
John and
is it?
Aaron's relationship. Those are the two great love stories of our time. Anyway,
Okay.
next card, Rickon.
Wait, no one rated Tully Septon.
It's not good.
It's
Oh,
beer
gotta-
in the right deck.
Shitty?
So that makes it shitty.
All right, let's go shit.
In a rush
Yeah,
deck where you're
Rickon is
putting power
beard.
on everything, do you really want to be discarding power to pay for something?
If
Why don't you just play some more economy plots, yo?
But maybe it
Wait,
gives
do you
you the
mean the-
tempo you
wait.
need to win the game.
John, what's my favorite card in the game right now? What's my favorite plot in the game?
I don't know.
Anybody? Want to guess?
Winds of Winter? No, the other
Calling
one,
the
the
Banners.
Long Winter.
No. I'm the economy guy. What's my favorite plot in the game?
Calling the banner.
Okay,
Trading the
trading.
Pentosh.
Trading with the Pentoshi is my favorite plot in the game right now.
But why are we not talking about Rickon instead?
Because Rickon's a beard. He's 4 years old and he still has a beard. It's not fair.
Despite having some of the shittiest art in the box, I agree.
What's
One
he-
costers are awesome.
The dog it looks good, but man, Rickon looks, I don't know what the hell.
He looks pimpin' because that's what he is. He's got an effect that you can get off once in a while, which is fine. But he's a one coster and you can sack him, which is awesome.
His effect is mildly OP. Like, a lot of times, if I think my opponent's naveling, or if I really don't have what I want to open with summons or building. And Rickon says, shit, find something else.
Yep.
I think he's shitty.
Really? You're
Yeah.
insane. When I put Rickon in a deck and Jon Snow is there, you're going to be like, oh my god, they're both beards.
It's just, he's good on setup and he's a low investment for you to do sack. He's just there to basically be eaten by Grey Wind or Jon Snow.
Yeah, there's no one coster that can be less than put it in a deck right now. Like, it could be 1 for 0 that does nothing. I'd be like, yeah, I'll run 3 of those. I like setup.
I think he has a blank text box and you would be running one Rickon.
Legitimately. Like, there's no one coster I won't run right now.
I hear though,
Ooh,
since
it
we're talking about
hurts.
beards now, that beards of the residents of Winterfell are even more luscious and full than beards of other people. So maybe we should talk about the next card,
Winterfell's...
Winterfell.
Alright, somebody else do Winterfell first. We've got strong opinions here. Go.
It's a beard card. It's a bit of a tempo hit, but I think it helps Stark.
A bit of a tempo hit? Are you kidding me?
It's 4 gold,
It's
man.
4 gold. I mean, it's great. If I had it in play, I'm gonna love it. But it costs 4. I don't like it.
Honestly,
I put it in the deck.
Stark struggles with their
And-
enemy. Like, that's what...
Yeah.
But you were saying that earlier, right, Buzz? Like,
Yeah.
I agree. This is yet to be seen for me. This is actually one of the few cards that I can't assess just by looking at it, or at least my gut tells me I can't. It says go out and play with this, and that's what I'm going to need to do, and I haven't yet.
For sure. I mean, it could be really good, but when I put together a deck on Thrones DB, I'm just, okay, this is gonna cost a lot, and if I want it to be the best version of itself, I need to fuck up my plot deck? No way. So no, I'm not gonna play it until Aaron makes a super good version and gives it to me. But until then, I'm not gonna touch this card.
Dear listeners, something that if you've listened to other podcasts of mine, you probably know. I'm a complete asshole and mostly an idiot, but I build really good decks.
What?
Well,
I don't
Who?
build, John, I don't build good decks.
No,
some of them
Oh,
are
you're
pretty
so
okay.
full of shit.
All right, so we all vote.
All right, no,
here.
I don't vote because I actually want to talk about this card. This card is legitimately interesting, and there's a lot of good or bad cards in this box that will be dependent on what comes next. This card is interesting whether or not something else good happens. I'm stuck between Beard and put in a deck. I'm gonna go Beard because I think this is interesting. I think this does things that very few things in the game can. The ability to on-demand Brienne is extremely powerful. Figuring out how to play around that is problematic. It's interesting, it's different, it's not something every deck can do. But I think when you can do it, it's going to be great. Whether it's worth doing that is what we have to test to find out.
You know what I hear Winterfell has? Heart trees.
Oh, wait. I'm sorry. Fuck, I forgot the thought I started that with. This is a really good card until the sack for discard card comes out. What's that Winterfell card? Help.
The Winterfell Crypts.
The Winterfell Crypts, and then Ward take up space that this needs to occupy. And that's what makes this card so problematic to me. Move on.
Okay. Well, speaking of one-cost Stark locations that are unique, we have Winterfell Heart Tree. I think this would be a better card when Valor comes out. Until then, it's shit.
Shitty.
Shitty.
John?
John's got real thoughts.
Shitty.
Oh, that was a real thought too.
Moving on.
Nymeria, besides having probably the most puppy-like art of any of the direwolves,
No, shit. That doesn't even look like a dog. It looks like a statue of a dog.
I think she's she's a goes in a deck card.
I
Nymeria.
am tempted to run 2 at least. I think.
I mean, she's not loyal. That's the one thing here.
Sean, you want me to do it?
I think she can in a go first aggro Stark. She's gonna shine so hard, and yeah, basically.
We've learned from, Bob, that Intimidate is good.
Yeah.
Kneeling is good, and being able to control certain characters is good. So I really think that this card is being underrated and underappreciated by people. The fact that you can move it to another Stark character and get that second Intimidate off if you're a go first really does have a lot of value. If there was a little bit more Intimidate that you could pair with this card, in Stark, I think you could really build a go first and kneel them out Stark deck. So right now, I still think it goes in decks. It's not a beard yet, but it may become a beard.
Yeah. I think it's shitty right now. Right now, it's King Rob's hammer.
No, Kingsrod Hammer is discard. Nymeria is around all the time, and you're getting multiple kneels from her.
She's also not terminal, unlike her sister.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's an okay card. It's a good card if you're running direwolves. If not, my attachment spots are far too heavy. Like, it's Stark, I'm running Frozen Solid, I'm running Ice. Nymeria is a good card I might fit one of. I'm certainly not fitting more than one of because balance matters. And it's right now, like, unless in a wolf deck, it's good. It's put it in. And if it's not a wolf deck, it's shitty.
If it's not a wolf deck, it's bad. So I don't know.
Since we're talking about Nymeria, who is Arya's wolf, maybe we should talk about Arya's sword, which is Needle. What do you guys think of that card?
You're like a ninja.
I'm loving Needle, actually. I think Needle's at one cost with a +2 strength boost is actually good in and of itself as an attachment, and I think that later on you might get Voltron builds around it, but even just adding +2 strength to a character is a pretty significant increase, and its effect is just kind of gravy. The fact that you can sack something and then get that sacrifice effect and save it has some value, or at least go back to your hand. So I like Needle. I think it's put in the deck.
I like Needle more than Nymeria. I think it's a more consistent card. I think setup matters, and that this is better for setup is better. I think you're basically always running something like Jon Snow that makes this better. I think you're always running Bran that makes this better. Something you set up for one that says all your characters or whatever important character gets +2 strength is fantastic. And if you don't want to use its interrupt, it just bounces back to hand to be +2 strength on someone else. Have you met Widow's Wail?
Doesn't have ambush. That's one of the things that makes Widow so good.
It helps Widow's Wail, but really, a lot of the time I'm using a reducer for Widow's Wail and just using it to make someone a threat. I think this is a put in a deck that's bordering on Beard.
Well, one of the things that's very threatening is how cold it can get sometimes. So, what about Frozen Solid, which is a reprint from a first edition card? And unlike its first edition brethren, sister, cousin, it does not hit attachments.
Go Aaron.
Yeah, Beard.
Yeah,
Like,
Beard.
Baratheon's really good.
So is I hear Pause of Punishment is really good against Stark.
Drawing cards is good, and this says you can't draw cards for draw locations.
Since when do they win power challenges against Stark? I mean, I love the Targ matchup for Stark. It's so good, so easy peasy, lemon squeezy.
Yeah, I agree. I actually completely agree. But
I have not found that.
Baratheon weirdly owns Stark.
But, I mean...
It's funny, my play experience has been literally the opposite of it.
Look, I've got a cat.
Hello,
You know,
cat.
since we're talking about the cold, I thought I'd tell you a little something about the mountain and the cold. Did you know that the mountain doesn't actually build snowmen?
You see it?
He makes the snowmen build themselves.
But
Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm not sold on Frozen Solid. If it would put on attachment, it would be great. But at the moment, I mean, you put it on the
I'm
draw
not loving Frozen
locations.
Solid.
You put it on Plaza, but I mean, no. It's too situational for me. I don't play it. I won't play it until Aaron gives me a super good deck that plays it. But then I'm probably
with
gonna
Buzz.
try and remove it anyway. And
Two of. In a lot of Stark decks, probably not all, but most, two of. And this cat's ridiculous. But go ahead.
no, I'm not liking it. Well,
Hey, at Gen Con, I want to play Lanny Banner the Wolf, so I can say I'm playing dogs and cats.
Oh, God. Oh, you know what is nearly as bad as a pun as Aaron? What Aaron
No,
just did?
like, I'd really like
as
to play
hard
that.
as Winter.
Ow, ow, fuck, the cat bit me again. You really
So-
did.
What do we think of as hard as Winter? John.
It's really
is
true.
John here?
I think we lost
John's
him.
having conversation with Tara.
Okay.
Hi, Tara.
All right, so Andreas, hard as Winter.
Okay. So this is the card that I love the most in the box. This is a fun card.
This is why we don't let him build decks.
So no, it's super fun, and I think it will be really, really, really great when it works. Is it now? Maybe not, but in the future it will be a beard, I think. I'm gonna try and make a deck around it tomorrow. This is my favorite card in the box. I am tempted to say a beard, but maybe it's not.
So, Buzz, where'd you finish at Worlds?
In
The Joust.
Either one. I
in the
don't care.
million second and top
Okay,
8 in Joust.
who built that deck?
Not me.
Okay, Buzz is the worst builder this side of Dennis. He's like, these cards are so much fun.
I mean,
I'd like to object. I think Dennis builds fine decks.
Dennis,
don't know.
Dennis won't
Buzz
tell you. Dennis
speak
will
for
not
himself.
tell you that Dennis builds fine decks.
Buzz's deck for Worlds, it's crushed through the Swiss. I was second seed in Swiss, and I only
At
lost
Worlds?
because
What did you play at Worlds?
Targ Rose, or that Buzz had
Oh,
built,
Malin,
not
that.
the real, not
Oh,
me
that
Buzz, the other Buzz. No,
The
I didn't
Buzz-
build.
No,
Why
no,
would
you're the
I
Bu-
build a deck? No.
You're the Buzz who can play and not build.
Yeah.
He's the Buzz who can build and not play.
Yeah.
Bring it, Tulsa.
And I would have been first in Swiss, but I didn't know the rules, so the other guy crushed me.
So
I
Anyway,
will agree with Buzz in one situation here. I do think this is a card that has the potential to be broken in the future, but is not broken right now.
John, do you like this card?
You know, I even took my headset off. I don't even know what card you're talking about.
It's
hard as
Hard as Winter.
What does it do again?
It's the sacrifice. I will read this card. It is
He
a
giggles like,
non-loyal Stark event, as hard as Winter. 1 cost. Play only when there is a winter plot card in your use pile. Reaction: after a Stark character you control is sacrificed or killed, put a Stark character with equal or lower printed cost into play from your hand.
I don't currently like it, but I didn't currently like some of the Lannister events that are really popular now in the jumper decks. So we're gonna have to wait and see. But
So-
more
so
importantly,
is-
like, are any of you really religious?
Nope.
Yes.
Do it. Oh, really? Buzz, you're really religious?
Yes. Didn't you know?
Legitimately?
Yeah, didn't you
No, I
notice?
had no idea. This is gonna end poorly. Go ahead, John.
Oh no.
No, I don't have anything else. Was just wondering.
No, I'm a Swedish Christian. We don't care about anything. It's fine.
Okay then. I'm also Christian, but I think this is funny, so I'm going to share. Since we're talking about the mountain, and I mean, this is pretty
Okay.
important stuff. On the
Awesome.
seventh day,
I'm gonna get another beer.
God rested.
Mhm.
Right, he created everything, and it's actually because that's when the mountain took over that last day. Yeah,
That wasn't sacrilegious.
it was pretty sacrilegious. Yeah,
I could get away with that with my southern friends on my other podcast. All right.
it's like the sadness, the fact that the mountain's tears actually cure cancer. It's just he never cries. So
I mean, cancer deserves to exist unless it can make the mountain cry.
it's just the way it is. All right, next one there, Aaron.
The pack
We're over time here.
here. The pack survives as the event cancel. It's a beard.
I really like it too, actually. When I first read it, I kind of went, I'm not that interested. A few seconds later, I started to go, yeah, there's a lot more value there. Sacking a direwolf isn't so bad, but kneeling 2 characters, especially with all these low-cost uniques that Stark has, isn't as bad as it seems. And when you start to think that some of those uniques might have 0 strength or won't be able to participate in attack, and it might be after the challenge phase, the defense has been declared, that there's some value there, and stopping a put can really change the tempo of a game.
Hey, this is also amazing if you're going second, because like almost no matter what they do, if you have the pack survives in hand, and they're like, I'm gonna put your Catelyn, I'm gonna put your Blackfish, I'm gonna put your Rob, you're gonna be like, you know what? Whatever two start characters I have, it's worth kneeling them.
Yep, exactly. There's just a lot of big swings that you can prevent with this card. It's the same reason people love to run Hand's Judgment, but Stark had trouble with Hand's Judgment because it didn't really have the gold necessary to counter put to the sword or some of these bigger effects. But now they got a cheap solution.
Wow, no one's called in to tell us we're idiots. This is upsetting.
No one's listening, Aaron. When we have no viewers,
We definitely do. Can you check?
We have
Your mom
14
doesn't
people
count.
currently watching us.
yeah, it's Aaron's mom, Aaron's dad, the other computer Aaron has on right now.
We know I'm not good enough with technology to have 2 computers at once.
That's actually true. Which is
In
strange.
fairness, Mr. works in technology. Like, we're like, Alex, help us with tech stuff. All the time.
Also true.
So-
all right.
Arya's Gift. What do we think of that card?
We did. We gave him a beard. What do you got? Oh, Arya's gift is different.
Yeah, it's a
Aaron's
different
Gift,
card.
the one that moves the
I-
attachments around. It's also a beard. It's okay.
It's definitely a beard. That card is amazing. And between that and the Lanny location that comes in this set, I'm not running Milk anymore because I was running Milk to begin with. But like, Milk is hard to run between those 2 cards.
Hey.
Yeah, moving Milk to useless characters, or worse, blanking like Hodor or Sansa would just be like so depressing. Oh, I made
By
your guy
depressing,
better.
You mean awesome
Shit.
if you're playing Stark. But John's thing there is John's not playing Stark in that example. That's what he needs to do is just play Stark.
I played a win.
That's not.
Oh, burn.
That
That's
means
not-
I'm playing Lannister, right? Or Targ.
Hey, or Barra.
Yeah,
Speaking
true
of
that.
Barra, I hear.
Oh, are we gonna do these other cards? Let's do it fast. Motley, what you got?
I think this card is okay. I think it's
I wish
No,
it
that's
was
not a
independent
rating.
justice.
No,
it's a
Roy, you're
shitty
full of
card. It's a
shit.
shitty
Yeah,
card.
It's a shitty card.
'Cause-
You're gonna run.
all right,
this, and
fuck
you're
this,
shitty.
then, Aaron.
It's
All
a
right,
shitty card.
Motley it takes up card spaces that you could fill with better cards. Is that
Oh,
what you wanted to
shit.
hear?
No, that's what I want you to believe. Do you believe that?
I do believe that.
I know you do, because we all do. John, do you believe that?
I believe I want to talk about even-handed justice, which is
Because
just
that's
amazing.
clearly the weirdest beard ever.
No, but
It's so
Okay.
good.
so am I the only one who loves this card?
Motley?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
please.
Come on,
That's-
fucking Americans, seriously. I mean,
You know when this card gets good? What's my answer to everything when something gets good?
I don't dislike
know.
Motley. I just don't think it's a beard.
No. It's really good when Valor comes out. When you can say, like, this isn't terminal, right?
Mhm.
And you can, like, say you can't recover from Valor for playing this.
I want to throw some scenarios at you. Motley's good actually in any deck where you can do some hand control, because what it means is that once they get low on cards, they can't really save their cards if that big character is what they're going to use to push through their challenge for like the put to the sword. If this is on someone's big beefy character, and they're going to have to take this risk that, there's a 50-50 chance that when I use this character in the challenge that I'm going to use to put, I'm going to lose my put to the sword. And that could be a big deterrent. I think it has more value than people think.
yeah.
Okay.
Well, I think it continues to
It's a
develop.
good- It's a really good Lannister card.
It's also
It's
a
non-loyal.
card that continues to develop
John
the
agrees.
era of Bear getting intrigue challenges that aren't intrigue challenges,
Mhm.
right? And it's an interesting card from a design space. I just think the card sucks right now. It might be better when we see Valor. It might be better in the future, but I think right now there are better cards you want to run in Bara, which I know is not a very even-handed way of describing the card.
But
Which
even-handed
leads us
justice
Even-handed
No.
justice.
is the beardiest beard I've ever met in my life.
It's definitely a luscious
I've
beard.
seen gay guys marry women that are less beards than this card. That was for you, Roy.
Yeah, next time you do the social justice warrior, we're just going to play this tape back to you.
That's
Okay.
not unsocialist worries. Sometimes beards like that happen, man. I've met them in school. Like, you made a bad choice. Be more honest. Oh my god.
Okay. Yeah, this card is a beard. I will agree with Aaron there. I won't necessarily agree with his metaphor.
Yes, you
But-
will.
The one thing I
agree with
want
this
I want
description.
people to really understand though is that the two costs can be a little bit prohibitive because it's not loyal. So that can actually hold back its value sometimes. So you have to either have a way of generating like gold, which is like maybe you're playing Bera Lannister or Lannister Bera, which works better, to pay for that, or you need to really be playing the right type of plots. So it might change the standard plot deck that Baratheon runs in order to pay for this event. But I really do like the idea that Baratheon is gaining a whole bunch of House Baratheon events, because it means that if we can get some intrigue somehow into Baratheon at some point, you might be able to run Shadow Black Lane.
Because Baron needs more draw.
Yep.
Mm.
Draw's
Yeah.
good.
I really think the two costs is very hurtful at the moment. I've not played much Bara, but when I've done so, it's so tough with the gold. And I do think it's really good in Bara Lion, for example.
Yes.
Well, okay.
Or
we have
Lion Bera.
we have two of the best melee players in the world here.
Or Marcel.
Oh yeah, and of course it's a melee card.
it's so
of
good
course.
melee.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just
so
want to make that
seriously.
clear. It's ridiculous.
Oh, you're killing me pretending
It works
that
as
melee
good
is
in Joust as it does in Melee, which is good.
So John's been in melee with DC like 5 times, and Buzz has been there once, and there's one win in those 7 times.
You know what my
So-
favorite DC Melee is?
Fish Whiskers?
No, it's the one where the French champion was playing, and Dennis was there at the final table, and it went on for like 7 hours, and then it was like 3 a.m, and 3 people got DQ'd. That was my favorite Melee.
So I'm just saying, Seth, you
Do you
should have been on
remember
the Seth, you should have been on the podcast, you dick. You could have defended yourself.
You know what I liked about it the most was that a bunch of people were upset, but that night at 3 a.m, Dennis went back to his hotel room, and what he posted was, "I understood why you did it, FFG. It made sense," and I thought that was really classy. And he kind of stood up and said this was for the best of the game, even though he honestly didn't feel that he was colluding. But he said, "You know what? I can see how it was perceived, and it's best for the game."
Dennis is our friend, and Dennis is my friend. And
Dennis
is such a giant douche.
So
What?
Do any of us disagree with that? No.
Yes, I like Dennis, and he's not a douche.
I like Dennis.
Have you seen him
Dennis,
posted
Dennis.
any time on the net?
Right?
Any
Okay,
time.
he's a troll.
Dennis,
That's different. Like a
Dennis.
troll.
No,
He's
no.
No, he's a
John,
douchey troll.
John and Roy.
Right, on the net he
Dennis,
is. On the net.
are you a douche? That's what we need to answer with this podcast.
Okay.
Okay.
Are
Well,
you a douche?
unless Dennis calls in, we won't be able to answer that question today. All right. So fish whiskers. What do we think?
Oh shit.
This
It's gonna be cool
this
in
is
winter
the card-
decks when winter's cool,
It's
but
so
it's not
dark.
cool right now.
Exactly. This is shitty for now. It's the card that breaks our rating system because one day this is so weird. But right now it's so shitty.
I hate Greyjoy, and I hate all of my metamates because they're like, oh nice, this is so good for Greyjoy.
You know why you like me? Because I build decks that don't lose to Greyjoy.
You don't build Greyjoy first and foremost, so I
No,
can
but I
play
don't-
the decks. I'm
But
not gonna play
do
Greyjoy.
my decks ever lose to Greyjoy? No. I hate Greyjoy.
No, I don't think so.
I think Aaron thinks he's a superhero. I think he's drank enough now that he is a superhero, and one of his powers seems to be deck building. I think that's what he's trying to get across.
Come on. You drank it with Aaron enough that when he gets drunk enough,
I know,
Aaron's
but
decks have never lost.
No,
Players playing Aaron's decks have lost.
No, Tark can
Aaron's
beat me.
decks-
Barra can beat me. I specifically against
See,
Greyjoy.
now he's saying him, but not his decks.
All right. So
I want to be something really clear. He always has 3 powers, so I'm really excited to find out what the other 2 are on this cast, because we know deck building is now one of them, and each time he drinks, it actually changes his powers too. So I'm looking forward to the next 2.
Oh man,
One of-
that's the
one of
most
the- wait,
best
one of-
Sentinels card ever.
One of them is John kicking.
Yeah, well, that was one time, so this is new powers now.
Oh man.
We agree ahead of the tide is shitty because my baby is making noises.
Yeah, it's okay in melee, I guess. If you really want to live initiative, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it does replace itself. Yeah. There's something there.
It's great in melee. It's
I'll
great
be
in
right
melee.
back.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Is there a
that's amazing.
system for which order we take these?
I'm going by are you on Card Game DB,
Yeah.
Andreas?
Yes.
Go to
Use-
date added, and it puts them in order of the card number. And that's what I'm going through.
Oh, thank you. I've been searching through every time, like, where is it? Okay, great.
Okay. So ahead of the tide, good melee card, melee guys. Since Aaron's not here, we can talk about that.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't gonna play Greyjoy at all because I hate Greyjoy. But now for melee, they're so good and they get this. Going first is so good.
Yeah, it's very important to close up the game in melee to go first. You know, honestly though, I haven't played a lot of melee yet in 2.0, which is just a tragic thing that I really want to fix.
We'll have to play
But-
melee when you come for dance, John.
Yeah, definitely. When I'm down there in New York at Dance on April 30th, we're definitely have to kick some melee going, maybe on the Friday night or something, because I'm planning on
Yeah.
taking off work and driving down early.
Absolutely.
That's good.
I've
It's
already
going to be a lot
cleared
of fun there. I think everyone should be going.
Yeah,
But,
if you want, you can. Do you see the alt art behind us? Hey.
Yeah.
Anyway, go on, John.
Yeah, I think it's initiative is really important, and don't underestimate the card replacement. Because there's no draw cap in 2.0, it means that these events that replace themselves don't really have they don't hurt you the way they did in 1.0, where you could only get that redraw 3 times.
And you don't even have to make yourself first. That's another nice thing about this. So, you can win initiative, make someone else first if it fits your position better, and still draw the card.
I mean, often at the moment in melee, I think you want to either go last or first. Last every time until you're gonna win. Then you want to go first, and so this helps you do that. Easy.
Do you know what does not help you win games? Crossroads Sellsword.
Yeah,
I
he's
would
just
say.
bad,
He's shit.
man. He's in a house that doesn't need extra gold. He's poorly costed strength to cost ratio. What's good about this card?
Absolutely. It has an intrigue icon that may be good as a banner because it's non-loyal.
I think
art.
it could have been interesting if it wasn't during the challenges phase. If it could have activated on a wildfire, for example, then it would have
or
been
when Valor
much
comes
more
out.
interesting. Yeah.
Oh yeah, when Valor comes out, this card would be
Nuts.
Awesome if it wasn't just in challenges,
Yeah.
but it is. So now it's bad.
Yes.
now we're doing Nate's job for him.
Man, you know, like most soul swords want to actually grow up and become the mountain, but usually all they grow up to be is killed by the mountain. They're just
Okay, next up.
Next up is an actually good card, Tower of the Hand. By the way, we need to go faster because we want to get through the Lannister cards before.
It looks like Aaron's done. Yeah,
Aaron's done.
I think he's done.
Tower of the Hand.
It's just absolutely amazing. The tempo ability that Lannister and people that, you know, Banner to Lannister is going to get from this card is huge. The jumper decks just get more powerful because instead of being discarded, you can actually bring those characters back to your hand. I think there's a lot of value. This is going to see a lot of play.
Have you played with this?
I have.
Okay, because I also have, and it was wasn't that great, but with Hear Me Roar, it's so good.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was basically it. So I played it in the jumper with Hear Me Roar, Never Bet Against My Family, and being able to go, you know, look at the bottom 5 cards, find something with a big intrigue icon, bring it out, smash them in the face with the intrigue, and then get it back to your hand. Just, that's a lot of value.
Yeah. It's a beard, of course. And I think Aaron agrees.
It's a beard.
I can hear actually Aaron's new baby Noah agreeing that it's a beard in the background.
Noah has one of the things babies are born with, I hear, is a really distinct sense of what a good beard is, and because they like to pull on it and stroke it and all that kind of stuff, and it's crying for how good of a beard this card is. Quentin,
Now that we're
go ahead.
30 minutes past how long we were supposed to be here, boys.
That's true.
Quentin, he seems okay. You know what we can do?
Quentin.
We can pause here, and we can take it back up at the next cast, because we're going to have another one in 2 weeks, aren't we?
Yeah, we are.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like Aaron's not going to be coming back. Andreas probably wants to sleep. It's like, what, 3 in the morning?
Yeah.
I have to work tomorrow. So do you, John, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I'm going to be up for a little bit, but I still have things I have to do around the house. What do our listeners think? These 12 people that are currently listening to us, should we continue or take it up next time?
I have no problem continuing. So
Neither do I, but if Aaron is out and John has things to do, then maybe we should...
I have no problem continuing. I just didn't want to... Because it sounds like there is a disturbance in the Aaron household that could take a while.
Finish.
And this was kind of his thing. Finish? All right, let's go. Next card.
All right, next card. All right. Quentin, what of our 3 ratings does he get? I say, he goes in decks.
If people like the area that lets you sack when a Stark character dies and she dies, then you can kill something at 3 strength. Wouldn't you want to kill something even bigger and stronger? And he lets you do that. So I think he's got a lot of value. His stealth is going to be pretty cool. I like him a lot, actually. He's probably not a beard, though, sadly. But I'm definitely going to put him in decks.
some decks he's gonna be in, some he won't. And yeah, put him in a deck and not all of them.
Our absent leader convinced me that this card is definitely goes in decks, but he's definitely not a beard. But I do think his Viper Eyes is a beard. I think it's a really fantastic
that's
card.
such an Aaron thing to say. You've been listening to Aaron, haven't you? He loves that card. He won't shut up about it.
I mean, the art is really sweet. All right.
Yeah,
it's not,
the art's great.
There's no beard in the art, but it's really good.
So we agree that Scene in Flames is awesome, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's no cost to triggering that other than paying the gold. You pay the gold, you get to see the cards. You can do it whenever you want. You don't have to lose first. If they're first player, and is he sleeping? I think Aaron's sleeping.
No.
I think he's feeding his child on stream. Am I on video? Yeah.
Oh.
So.
So, hi guys. Sorry, I forgot I was on a podcast. There's a baby.
Run. Hi, Noah.
Ouch.
So, like I was saying, I think the Viper Eyes isn't as good as Seen in Flames. And in my mind, Martell has some really good events. And it's actually going to be hard to squeeze in this event into their normal event package. And because of that, I'm not going to say it's a beard. I'm sorry, Aaron.
Me neither. You're muted, by the way. But
That's good. I think it's probably for the best, considering we don't want to hear Noah actually eating. As charming as it is to watch it. Okay. Stone Snake. I'm going to say this card's shit.
shitty. I'm not gonna bring it up on the stream.
John?
This is the one that can bypass stealth with stealth.
Yeah.
And still keywords.
And that's Monocon again.
Yeah.
For
I
5.
want it to be good,
non-loyal.
but it's not.
It would be great if they got a Intrigue Monocon, because Intrigue at 5 cost is, 4 or 5 cost is really what Night's Watch is hurting for here. But another military icon, even with stealth, is not really what Night's Watch wants right now. Shadow Tower.
Oh man, this is a good card.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's a good card.
It's a beard. Maybe that's an overreaction, but like, just the ability to control any character from attacking you if you win a challenge is just, ridiculous.
The wall decks
totally
will love this.
Oh, yeah.
Totally changes how your opponent will play against you, and any card that does that means it has big impact. It's going to be a horror for people to always be thinking about. I think it's a very good card. It's a beard.
Beard.
Oh yeah. I mean, with the Night's Watch plot plus the new murder event that can devalue military challenges, it's just going to be very easy for Night's Watch to win. You don't have to win by a certain number; just win a challenge as the defender, and then you can control their challenges phase in a way that I think Night's Watch really can't do right now, particularly in the first snow meta. So, Shadow Tower is a good card. Ago.
I like him a lot. He's one of the new Dothraki characters. He kind of fits in that Dothraki aggression theme that seems to be coming out of Targ. He's the one that has, if it's what's his text
card.
again? Summer Stand, yeah. So I think that's actually pretty nice in and of itself. Being able to get an extra stand when you need it against Baratheon, and I think it's probably pretty likely that your standard Dothraki-based Targaryen deck is going to run 1 or 2 summer anyways. So just getting this ability off is pretty nice. And of course, you'll turn on all the other Blood Riders, which has some value.
I don't see why it had to be if there's a summer plot card revealed. Just remove that, and it would be a great character. And it would
Remove
be
that,
great.
it'd be a crazy, broken, awesome character.
Yeah.
A 5 for 4 military intrigue that stands himself no matter what you do. Yeah. That's a crazy broken character.
I'm
Yeah,
not
see, this
impressed
character's-
now.
I'm impressed with the intrigue icon too. I mean, it looks like the other Dothraki are tending towards a power military icon spread. So having that intrigue icon and a Dothraki diversifies them, and it actually has a lot of value, I think. It also, you can't be warded with this, which we've seen. That's been spoiled. It's a great attachment that takes those 4 costers, so you won't be able to take this guy. And he's not affected by first snow. I think he's got more value than people are seeing at first. He's not a beard though.
Yeah,
No,
no.
he's not a beard. It goes neck. Dragon Sight, though, I would say, Andreas, you're the expert on beards. Can dragons grow beards?
The scales are bearded, right? I think so.
Chinese
Yeah.
dragons all have beards, right?
Have
That's
you
true.
seen not the Final Destination, but whatever it's called?
The last story, or
The never-ending
The
story.
Never-ending
story.
story.
Yeah, there you go.
yes.
Yeah, the wish dragon has a beard, or whatever
Alright.
it is.
So I think Dragon Sight does have a beard then.
Oh, really? You like Dragon Sight?
Additional burn. Again, John, as I've said many times on the White Book and just in real life, I was taught Thrones by Dan Struhal and Dave Stroms, who are people who
All burn is good.
all burn is good. All burn owns people, and even if you think this burn event is terrible, these are guys that made what was the 1.0 card, Pyrophobia, an utterly fantastic card. And I just trust that someone is going to figure out how to break Dragon Sight in a way. So I give it a beard.
I don't think it's. I think it's borderline shitty at the moment. But it will probably make itself into burn decks in the future.
Yeah, it's like they're waiting for a critical mass, and once they hit that, it's going to be really good. And until then, it's just going to be bad. They just don't have enough terminal effects yet to make it worth running this in the hopes of making their other terminal effects more effective. So it's kind of like a catch-22 because you're like, well, we got this new plot. I'm going to tell you something. When you play that plot, I am really not going to be challenging you most of the time because I'm going to assume that if you have cards in hand, you got stuff to kill my guys, and I'll just be careful. So I think in general, this card is not very good right now.
Yeah, I agree.
All right.
I'm waiting for Dan to prove me wrong, which he probably will.
House Florent Knight. I like him. I think he goes in decks. The military intrigue on the Knight character out of Tyrell. Non-loyal. Can't be warded. Immune to first snow. And has the possibility of discarding probably one thing by your opponent, even if it's a Marjorie that they save, is solid.
So this character, strangely enough, has more value the more characters your opponent has. Because if you've wildfired, if you've first snowed, there's not going to be as many targets for him, and he might end up sacking himself. And he's kind of a tempo hit when you play him because he's that 5 cost, which is pretty expensive. So to me, he's an okay card, but you really have to build around him. And the problem is that not just you have to build around him, you have to try to anticipate your opponent's wildfire or first snow, and you got to play it before that to get real value out of him, or after, but a couple turns after, and he might just sit kind of dead in your hand for a while. So because of this kind of like high ceiling, low floor type of character he is, where he has great effects or he's useless, I don't like him as much because I'd rather have a tighter, like lower floor, lower ceiling, higher floor, lower ceiling type card that's more just generically good in all situations, and I don't think this character is yet.
I think it's shitty at the moment. Maybe someone builds a deck that's completely, where he's shining, and it's really, really great, but I don't think we're gonna see that in a long while. No.
The other Tyrell card. Oh, go ahead, John.
You can use it, like there are some combos that you can see already for him. Stuff like where you're running the summer plot that gives all of your guys +1 strength, so it brings up everyone's strength to 4, and then you can easily kill 4 strength characters on your opponent's side. That seems okay, but I mean, you'd have to really build your deck around him, and he's a 3 of. So it seems to me that to get the best value from him, you have to do too much to your deck.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what do we think of the other Tyrell card then, To the Rose Banner? I really don't know how to assess this card. I think it might be a good way for Tyrell to get around negative attachments, that control big, impactful characters. You can, if you have the dupe of, they milked or they put attained on your Queen of Thorns, you can To the Rose Banner, sacrifice her, put the duplicate you had in your hand into play, but the card gives you flexibility, but I'm really not 100% sold on its overall strength. So I want to hear what you two guys have to say.
When can you use To the Rose Banner?
Martial action.
So
would be way better if it was an action and you could use it before wildfire.
Yes. Yeah. You have to call out your wildfire or call out your Varus to use this, and then gain gold that you probably aren't going to be able to spend unless you're running some kind of weird, the long plan Martell to Tyrell, something going on. But I don't love it right now. It allows you to put if Tyrell gets more of these come into play effects like the night we just saw, where what they're doing is a good portion is their come into play effect, then there's more value. Then you can get that gold back and play another character. But right now I'm still not getting a lot of value.
There is this other card which gives Tyrell gold. It's called the Arbor. And
now that is a good card.
I mean, why would you play this when you can play the Arbor? So
yeah.
Next.
All right. Well, what do we think of the one true king of Westeros, Mance Raider?
His beard is pretty okay.
Well, there was a
want
whole
him-
episode, I think, of
Yes.
Great
I
Beards
want
of
him to be
Westeros
better than
back.
he is.
Yeah, I think it's a neutral renown. That's nice. He's a Tricon. That's nice. It's not, and it's a 5 for 7. That's pretty okay. But the ability will be either great or shitty. So
He's
And
definitely a
if
card
he-
I'm... Oh, go ahead, John.
I don't like the restriction that it has to have a winter plot to get the reduction. If it didn't have that, then there'd be more value in him all the time. At least he'd give you that one reduction all the time. But when I compare him to, some of the other big 7 costers, I feel like he's falling a little short. And then when I compare the wildlings in general to some of the, more iconic characters in different factions, they kind of fall a little short. So right now, I just feel like the whole theme, the wildling theme in general, is a little weak, and I don't think Mance did enough to bring it up. I think Mance was an opportunity for FFG to make some kind of really cool theme or something really interesting with the wildlings, and instead they chose to make it so that they gain ambush. And I didn't feel like wildlings was an ambushy type theme to start with. I felt that ambush right now is kind of a Lannister, a little bit of a Tyrell thing. We already have factions identities with that, and this was kind of the design bothers me.
Yeah, I mean, I take what you say, John. Totally true. I'm glad that he's evergreen because it will be interesting to see if they print more interesting low-cost wildlings. But the question is, do we want more low-cost wildlings, or do we want to see more interesting high-cost?
Or the
Both?
Wildlings,
eagle, yeah.
like I want to see a Tormund Giantsbane, right? There
Mhm.
wasn't one in the LCG, which I think should be your champ card, by the way, John. Should be Tormund. But that's not here nor there. And he kind of pushes you towards playing cards like Wildling Scout or the Wildling that we're going to get to in a second, Young Spearwife, because it's hard to ambush in a 5 or 6 cost character. But it's at least we know Wildlings is going to be a theme that you could build around for the whole rest of the game. So I guess that's a good thing.
I love Wildling Scout, hate Wildling Spearwife.
The Young Spearwife. So shit.
Shit.
Let's see. Why do we have less? No. Shit.
Yeah, she's bad. Okay, House Maester. Fine.
Yeah.
Neutral, low cost. This Maester actually allows for a bunch of decks that weren't able to play Crossing to do it now, because he really provides the intrigue icon, and even more to that, he actually makes the plot that lets you find and put a Maester into play more useful, because a lot of these factions had a single Maester right now that they found good, and they're always like, oh, I want to be able to put him into play, but what happens if I put him out in setup, or I have him in hand, or then the plot's kind of dead. You put a couple of these guys in the deck, and then at least you're always getting that body on the board when you use it. You're never in a situation where the plot's dead, so it gives a little bit more value to the plot as well.
Yeah, I think he definitely makes crossing decks much more consistent. I mean, the question is is a deck is this going to be played in things like Greyjoy Crossing over, say, the Wildling Scout, or Stark or things like that? It's just nice to see factions that feel behind sometimes, particularly right out of the core with their intrigue selection, will now have a permanent evergreen option if you feel like your deck needs more intrigue icons to go here. Is really nice.
And the ones that you mentioned, I don't think they're actually going to appear, but I think in a Baratheon Crossing, you'll see this, because you're probably considering the plot to bring the Maester in already. You'll see that more in a Martell, maybe, because of the plot. I think the plot will actually drive your choice between the Wildling Scout, which is probably a little bit of a better card, and this Maester. But we've also, at least my 1.0 self has this idea that Maesters are going to get some chains or some kind of weird tech or some special abilities. And, it's nice that this one's in an evergreen play, so that if they do that, if they come out with these types of things, we're going to be able to leverage that Maester.
Yeah.
Tourney Grounds. I think this goes in decks. I don't think it's a beer,
Man, yeah.
but I
Yes.
think it goes in decks.
It goes in decks. Economy is so important right now. Anything that can reduce, and the old standard in 1.0 was you would put in one of the roads, which did a reduction based on icons, if you had 9 or more. And I think a lot of decks are running 9 or more events. So I think this will go into a lot of decks.
I mean, it's sad that Aaron's too busy because he hates this card. So
Fuck
it
him.
would be interesting to see. But speaking of bad cards, though, Green Dreams. I think this is a combo card for some janky build that really wants to control what's on the top of your deck. But I don't think. I think it just eats up spaces for better cards.
I think the Brits, some of the jank Brits, are gonna try and destroy this so hard.
You are correct, sir.
They love this kind of shit. I hate it. This is a shit card. Fuck them.
If you're looking at this, you're looking at like Osha, Danny, things that give you multiple stand effects where you can trigger it multiple times. And if you're thinking about never bet against your family, because you can move that top card into the bottom, you can actually kind of control what your never bet's going to be. It allows you to pick the one that you're going to be using. So it has some of these weird interactions that I agree that the British, especially the London meta, is going to find very interesting and start to go. But the one cool thing about this card is actually it's a good player card in that you really have to have a firm idea of what you need to win the game in order to use it properly, because you have to make these hard decisions on if you want to move that card to the card that you're looking at to the bottom or not, which means you have to have a good perception of what the cards are that you need to get your hands on. If you get this onto a person with insight, it's very powerful, right? Because you get to look at the top card. If you like it, you put it back and you draw. And if you don't, then you ditch it to the bottom and draw a different card with insight. It gives you a lot more options, so it's great on Danny. Yeah.
What would you rate it though, John? Let's make you make a choice. Is it shit, goes in decks, or beard?
Shitty.
Okay, it's shit right now.
All right, healing expertise. John, since Andreas started the last one.
Well, we talked a little bit about things that Maesters might be getting. Well, here's one of them, right? However, it's just not good enough.
Yeah.
Andreas?
It's a save. Saves are so good, but yeah, we need more macers, I guess. More good
It's not
macers.
consistent enough.
Yeah, it's not consistent enough for it to be. The card is good, but it's not consistent enough. Yeah,
I agree. If we get another Maester cycle, or for some reason Winds of Winter comes out and there's a million different Maester characters while Sam is running around at the Citadel, then sure, this could be a great card. But right now, it's shit.
Mm-hmm.
Even shittier than that, though, is Tithe.
Yeah, Tithe is horrible.
yeah.
I don't see any
If
use that you would want to do this.
I am wrong about Tithe. You can call me on it, and I will buy you the smallest beer I can find.
You'll tie the beer to them, John? All right. Do we even need to talk about this card?
No.
Andreas, do you have any? No?
No.
Well, we should talk about Time for Wolves, which is Kid's card. It's a reprint, I think a pretty solid reprint from first edition. Andreas, what do you think of the card?
Search is amazing. So I mean, it's gonna be great. I'm not sure what I want to look for now. I guess Nymeria. I don't want to look for Summer. I don't want to look for Shadowkey. I would like to look for Greywind, but then it becomes a 3 gold plot. So yeah, I'm not sold. The one saving grace at the moment is the Winter trait. That makes it way better.
Can I ask why you wouldn't want to look for Summer? Because Summer's is a come into play effect, so you can trigger Summer. Yeah, you can trigger Summer in the plot phase. I'm pretty sure.
Then okay. It's a great plot.
Because then you can get Bran back and play Bran in the
I thought it was
phase.
like a marshalling thingy.
Nope, it's coming to play.
Mm-hmm. Oh, then it's way better. Then suddenly it's a way better plot. Yeah.
John?
I think the Winter is a key thing on this plot. It has no limit, so if you do that Direwolf deck, you can actually run 2 of these babies. I think as Direwolves become more effective, you're going to see more of these. But let's not forget that it's not just about Direwolves, right? This is about cool attachments and all things Stark-like. I think people are going to like that a lot. I think Aaron's singing to himself in the background there. Yeah, just thought I'd share.
I think Aaron does not know. He is like ranting, and this is really amusing, by the way. that Aaron is like yelling at us right now, and we can't hear a thing that he's saying. This is
Which is fantastic.
It's a
I hope-
blessing.
it's amazing. He doesn't
So
know that
Aaron-
he turned his microphone off. I love it.
Aaron, how do you rate this card? Oh, I don't think it's good. It's gonna be bad everywhere.
I
Get it,
turned
zeros.
my mic off. Hi, it's shitty.
There we go.
I could hear you guys. I took care of the baby. Baby's
Yeah.
he was very, very gassy. But
All right, thanks for
you know,
that.
sometimes like John, you just have to fart everywhere.
Okay. Let's move on to the next plot. Fallen from Favor, which I did not realize is an edict plot, and that makes my assessment of this plot go down a lot because it's going to be hit by naval. Aaron, since this is your first
Wait,
time back,
did this plot fall from favor? It's if you're running cat, put it in a deck. If it's not, it's shitty.
I actually loved it at first, and then I played with it,
Yeah, 'cause
and
it's
I
shit.
totally changed my opinion.
It's shitty,
I don't like it actually. Yeah, I thought I was going to, but
dude.
I kept-
In a Catlin deck, it's not bad.
see, that's what I thought. I thought to myself, if I play this with cat, it'll be good. If I play this in Targ, where I want to kill that little bugger to get rid of attachments, I'm going to like it. And you know what? I just didn't like it. There was too many situations where I just didn't want to use it, which made me sad.
Yeah.
It had to be like 9 gold. If it was 9 gold,
It's
It would have
off the
been
seventh
better.
Plot.
yeah, it's a real shit 7th plot. I mean, what about Greyjoy? I mean, the initiative is ridiculous.
Oh, shut up! Greyjoy sucks.
okay.
No, they don't.
Have them go play Greyjoy next tournament.
No, because they are
Greyjoy,
aggro. I don't play aggro.
Well, I play
Greyjoy
aggro.
No, fuck that.
I'll send you your next deck there, Andreas. So you don't have to listen to Aaron.
That deck
But-
sucks, John.
That deck is awesome.
Hey, whatever. You're so full of it, and you know it.
You don't like my Barra Lannister?
Oh, that's not a Greyjoy deck. That deck is great, but it's not aggro.
I know. He said he didn't like aggro, so I said
I,
I second my
no, I
next.
thought you were going to send him an aggro deck to prove him wrong. I was like,
No,
your Greyjoy Lion is a fun aggro deck, but it's not.
but let's talk about how Greyjoy actually doesn't like this plot. Greyjoy actually plays a low amount of characters normally on the board. They like small board states, especially with Asha and their stealth. So they like to run Wildfire. They like to keep the board small, which means they don't want to sack one of their few characters they have on the board to something like this. So that would
Hey.
be my stance.
No one wants to call in and tell us we're idiots all this time.
Oh wait,
Actually,
hold on. I got
Patrick
one
has been
message.
trying quite a lot. Yeah,
Patrick,
he's been trying. Do you want me to? Do you want
Haynes?
me to accept Mr. Haynes?
Yes.
Yeah, how is Haynes not on the podcast
Yeah.
right now?
Okay,
And he
we-
hung up. He
boo.
did 2 requests to the Skype call, but
I didn't see any requests.
Look, I was busy feeding a baby. Somebody else has got to be on top of these things.
Okay. All right. So let's go to Snowed Under.
Snowed under.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ugh.
I think
I don't
it's
like it.
No. Look, when good winter plots come out, this is shitty. It's a melee plot. Let's move on.
Greyjoy in melee with Ahead of the Tide and this.
It's a melee plot. Yeah,
All right,
they like
so-
a single +1 initiative really lets you win it. So
It's also if you're really afraid of if you're running a winter focus deck and you're really afraid of naval, it's a pretty good opener.
Be less awful.
I'm just saying. I'm just looking at all the possible options.
All the winter plots are good for that, including
That's
the one that
true.
gives you 2 power next.
This one doesn't
next
have
chapter
5
pack.
gold. All right.
The one that
yes.
gives you 2 power does give you 5.
It's not in the next chapter pack, Aaron. It's in 4 chapter packs.
That's
4.
4 chapter packs, really?
Yes.
Winter Festival is 4 chapter packs.
But the next
second-
one is
the
the
next one
long
is-
winter.
Oh,
oh my god, it's good.
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, we're looking at 2 claim is good.
All
It's
right,
got
but
limit 1 to plot deck for a reason, yo. It's a beard.
It's a beard plus.
It is 4 reserve.
What's a closer,
You're
not
not-
a.
You're
I
playing
know.
it mid game.
If you play at mid game, you've got something to follow it that makes the 4 reserve not matter.
Okay. You're gonna
It's
build a deck for me. I don't.
Yeah, you're gonna be you're gonna be like, holy shit! I was 1 power from winning every time I played this, and it's sad. It's gonna be great.
It also is a good plot if you're just slightly behind.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it also helps.
Because
Particularly
it has
going
that
out to
ridiculous economy to grow back into the game. No.
It's
Oh,
really
It's got more than wins.
It's
Well,
it's
yeah.
It's
really
got more than any 2
No,
cane
no, no.
plot that isn't sneak attack, and sneak attack sucks for everything but closing.
It's really good for that jumper deck because you're running 2 counting.
Hmm.
So you can play this and then play counting and be like, yeah, I had 4 reserve, but now I have 8 cards.
Mhm.
This replaces wins in that deck.
I can see that.
Yes.
Sure. Yeah.
100%. It replaces wins in a lot of decks.
I've already replaced wins with other stuff anyways.
Yeah, but that's wrong. So let's not listen to that.
I'm undefeated.
I've lost once.
Are you
Sorry.
undefeated in the Octagon?
Ooh.
I
Shots
lost
fired.
before I started playing Banff. And
Oh,
I'm
okay.
undefeated in Stockholm at the moment.
Who built the deck that you lost with? Because it wasn't me.
I don't remember what I played. Oh, it was
Yeah.
Buzz Hannon. It was his Barra shitty son.
but Buzz Hannon.
All right. Well, you know what? You
No,
never-
are we
since
really
we're
not going to
playing
shit talk Buzz? You
A
suck.
Song of Summer.
Song of Summer.
To put it in a deck, it's a good card.
To put in the deck. I
It's
agree.
actually a solid opener too.
I'm gonna put it in my plot deck and not in my deck, but that's me.
Yeah, well, Aaron likes to cheat. That's why he put the swords in his deck in New York. Wanted to make sure he drew it and used a couple. When he used the 4th, he realized, that was a mistake. He shouldn't have let his opponent see that. He had to disqualify himself and make up some story about how they got in there. He was going to put them in his beard, but it's not lush and full enough to actually allow
Yeah,
it.
I shaved since I won Red Saturday when you didn't. Because you lost to beardless, effeminate Sean Emberley.
I'd like
hey,
to say,
it's
I
cool.
remember I played you there.
I was so drunk.
Aaron.
That's not fair.
and-
I
and
beat
Aaron,
Sandy.
who won?
Wait, no, I beat
Who
Sandy.
won? Yeah.
Roy, a
Sorry.
neutral party. Roy, what happened after I played Sandy?
Well,
Aaron-
what happened after he played Sandy was that he started to drink, and then he lost to you, John. And then his wife sent him a message and said, I encourage you to do all this throne stuff, and you keep talking about how you're going to win. And then instead you go to these events and you get drunk instead of winning. And then she says, I'm pregnant, sitting here by myself in this apartment. And
So
you're in New York. You need to win or this stops. And then what did Aaron do?
No, then I played Dave, and Dave went, I've never seen you play that hard before. I've never seen you actually try.
I want to tell you a secret about Aaron. We've met a few times at major events now, and Aaron, have you ever beat me in a major event?
Oh my god, that's such
In a major
bullshit.
event?
Wait,
I know
wait.
any tournament. Name one tournament you beat me in. Just
That's
one.
right.
Just name
No,
one.
no, no, we played twice. We played at that New York tournament. We played at Canadian Nationals when we were both already eliminated from the cut.
Yeah, and you know who won that?
Yeah,
This guy right
John
here.
Definitely won it. Wait,
John, didn't Aaron beat you at the Montreal Regional?
No. He won. That was
never
the
played.
no.
Oh no, we did play. I won there too.
No, we didn't play at the Montreal
Victory!
Regional. That's bullshit. We didn't play at the Montreal Regional. I lost once in my first round to the team that's week in the cut. It was what's his name? Help.
Okay, it doesn't matter. What really matters to me is that Aaron's never beat me in a tournament. I don't care
Yeah.
what his
there
excuses are.
was one
That's what
game
matters.
where we were both eliminated from the cut and no one tried, and then there was a game where I was hammered and won the tournament.
Aaron, did you just say I beat you without even trying?
Excuses.
Without me even trying, yes.
Wait. I want to summarize.
Hey, you know who's better than I am? Jakob. You know who's not better than I am? Buzz. Bitch.
Okay.
What?
What is
I
that?
want to go back to John's earlier point, though. John's
I think it's
earlier
on now.
point is this: that Aaron leaves the weapons at the door when he plays John.
Oh shit! Look, he's transitioning. He's like a professional.
I
Okay,
don't like
so
this
what do we
plot.
think of this plot?
Shit right
Aaron,
now.
Weapons at the door is a leave it at the door.
John, you said it was shitty, right?
Yeah, I don't like it right now. Attachments have to become a thing before this.
It's a meta call. I mean, it could destroy a tournament if there's some people playing a lot of attachments, like Aaron. If there was a lot of Aarons, this would be great.
I'm gonna let everyone believe that so I can win more games.
So yes, if you know Aaron Glazer is going to be at your next tournament, play this plot.
No. Legitimately, and no one's listening at this point because this podcast sucks.
There's like at least 10 people.
2-hour long podcast.
Yeah, why are we still doing this? I thought we were stopping after star cards, but here we are. I went to feed a baby and you're still reviewing cards. John is
You
one of the
told
best
us we
players.
had no structure.
I-
And,
if we
and now
really-
you're now you're telling us I had a plan all along.
I just assumed we'd quit and give up because we suck.
I thought we were going to start to sing soon.
No. John is the second best Canadian I've ever met at Thrones because Heinz is better. Buzz is the second best Swedish player I've met because Jakob is better. But
I agree.
But they're all better than I am.
That's the most ecumenical your elbow here. He'll hear. Rather. Aaron.
I don't know what that word means. I'm an English teacher. Help.
All right, next card. Do we have more cards? Are we done?
The
There's
last
one more
card
card.
is Rangers Cache.
Oh, I like it.
Throw it in the bag.
Yeah, it's definitely it
Which
goes in
bag?
plot decks. It's not an auto include.
Yeah.
Put it in the deck.
It's a poor man's long plan for various decks and stuff.
A bit, but it's also a poor man's counting coppers. If
Yeah.
you're not sure, if you have a bit of draw and you're not sure you need the extra draw, it
Yeah,
could
it's
just be like
flexibility.
extra gold. Yeah, it's a good plot. I don't think you build around it. Like you build around first snow, right? Like if you know you're running first snow, that's something you put in a deck and you know when you want to use it. While the Ranger's Cache is something you put in a deck and you're like, I might draw enough. I might have enough gold, but I'm not 100% sure on either, so this is going to back me up.
Yeah, it's definitely good in factions like Stark and Greyjoy that can't necessarily protect their hand but want to see more cards. So something like counting coppers is not necessarily an ideal plot for them, but being able to draw 2 cards and then draw 2 cards in the next draw phase is very solid.
I think that ends up with 4 cards instead of 5 cards in your Marceline. I don't think that makes a big difference to you. The only difference is that you could actually play a high gold plot to ensure that you can play out the cards you draw, which is nice.
Yep.
Was this one of your cards on Beyond the Wall?
Me? No.
Oh, it was someone else's.
I did Jamie cards.
Oh, what were your cards?
Really?
Yeah.
I just told you listen. You can, if you really want to know, what you can do is you can go listen to the other podcast.
This is going up.
I'm not.
This is going.
I'm not
up.
going through
is going
all
up
my
in the-
cards I already did on another
Tell me
podcast.
your cheating cards. I dare you.
Oh
right.
my god!
That is the entire Wolves box, which I think is pretty impressive that we got through all of it.
I can't
yes.
believe you did the rest of the box.
So this has been the Second Son. So where can we find people typically? If for some reason someone who's listening to this is the first Game of Thrones content that they found,
Roy,
this
you're
poor bastard is on YouTube and Googling Game of Thrones LCG, and
And they
is
get
the
this,
first thing
and now
that
we
comes
feel
up.
bad for them.
Yes.
And then
So-
they quit the game.
Let's go with John. John, where can we normally find your wonderful voice?
You can find it on Beyond the Wall, which is a podcast with a Facebook group. You can go to CardGameDB to find the link. How about you, Andreas? Your sultry voice is heard a bunch of places.
Twitch.tv/AgotNordic, and also on YouTube, Agot Nordic, and on Facebook, Agot Nordic, and on Facebook again, Andreas Aldrin, of course.
Wait, what's your podcast, Dick?
Oh, that's not my podcast. I'm not gonna advertise that podcast. No, but
But if you're watching this on YouTube, you can look in the right corner below the
Yes.
awesome Road to Stolic event that our Swedish friends host.
so you can
It's that podcast.
find that podcast, which is called Great Beers of Westeros, on all of the Agot Nordic channels.
Right? Well, you can find me and Aaron Glazer on the White Book podcast, which comes out every Friday. Aaron and I, are we team left? Is that what we are? I can never remember.
Yeah, we're lefty.
So you're socialists.
Yeah, we're team left. So we record not this week, but next week you can hear us.
You know why? You know why Will did that, right? Because we're the evil team. You're a vegan. I'm an atheist. It's bad for the Christians.
We are just bad people. I am the straight man to Aaron's comedian.
Roy is so not straight.
And you'll also find us here me on Second Sons. I also occasionally write for the White Book website,
So
and I'm also fighting for social justice on the AGAT cards group.
yeah, that's what's important. If you don't believe in social justice, you should hate us because you're a douchebag, and I hope you
Okay.
die, motherfucker,
Well,
die.
guys, on that beautiful song from Aaron, I'm going to sign off. So thank you so much for casting with me and taking 2 hours of my life. I know that as people are listening here, they're thinking the same.
Is it gonna be shorter next time? Maybe.
Yes.
Should have been
Maybe.
shorter.
Thank
I'm
you.
I
We
mean,
won't
sorry,
be-
baby.
it could end
I
up
was
7
gonna
minutes. We
stop
could
us.
log on,
7 minutes
Aaron
in heaven.
go up online, and that would be the show. Like, it would be done. It'd probably get the most views, too. That would be the worst part. We get like 7,000 views or something.
Ladies and
Guy
gentlemen,
pukes on camera as it goes viral.
ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to the very worst
Friends
Once
don't
it's
seek
the-
help.
LC.
Once it's the
podcast.
summer, Aaron can just vomit on live on stream. We just
I
have to work
will.
on
Oh,
Mondays,
I've got a baby.
Fridays.
If I
I
puke
know.
on a baby, everyone's gonna be sad. You saw it.
Well, the baby can puke on screen. There we go.
Mm.
That's probably.
Oh my god, I could puke into Aaron's mouth.
Hey, John, you've got 18 kids. How many of them puked into your mouth?
Like most of them. It's disgusting.
I
Why
really
is
hope-
this still
I
happening?
really hope that 5 years from now, 6 years from now, one of John's children is Googling their dad. They come up and they find this obscure podcast where their dad talks about the times that they.
Oh man, just you wait till the first one does like poo painting. You come down into their room or something, and they'll have like the Van Gogh done on their wall and their own feces. And then you'll
You've
be
got
like,
a 9-year-old. She's still not Van Gogh.
no, she's not doing that. It's like the 3 and 4-year-olds you got to watch. They're dangerous.
So true. Good night,
So,
everybody.
okay. Let me just hold on before we get off. We just need to. This is what you get from Second Sons. You get excellent Thrones content. You get parenting advice. You get banter. Why wouldn't you tune in? Why wouldn't you tune in?
Because you have taste.
Taste will be a deterrent for this podcast.
Yeah. This podcast is probably a mistake. But it's fine. We're going to have a good time doing it. And honestly, like, banter shouldn't exist. That podcast is stupid. No one's listening anymore. It's fine.
No, new
Why don't
people
you
have
sing,
joined
the
actually.
Kermit Load connection.
Yeah, fuck them. Is it
Aaron?
Craven? Because if it's not Craven, I don't care.
It's
Aaron, you gonna sing some Kermit Love Connection for us before we go?
Oh, seriously? No. That's a third podcast special. It's a third date.
Okay.
On the
we
third
make it-
date, I will open it with the Rainbow Connection.
Okay, if we make it to a third episode, that's a promise. Take a picture. If we make it to the third episode, Aaron will sing Rainbow Connection as our opening.
And by the way, I usually get shot spot for that. So if you hear me sing it and you meet me at Gen Con, I expect shots.
I have to ask something. Who is Major Marked? Does anyone know?
I don't know. Ask
He's
him.
been here for all of this.
You know,
Well,
I like
tell
him,
him
man.
He's our
He's a
favorite.
trooper.
You
He's a
poor
trooper, and he's our
bastard.
favorite viewer.
Yeah, probably. I don't
Anyway.
actually like any of our other viewers. It's like Buzz and people from Tulsa and shit.
Okay, I'm leaving.
There's a Finnish
That's
guy
it.
from the Helsinki meta here at the moment. And it's
And-
5 a.m. there.
It's funny.
Well,
He is our
okay.
favorite guy.
He's got he's got his priorities straight. That's good.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Anyway.
In fairness, hey, listeners, no one's listening at this point. I don't know why I'm pretending anyone is. We're all actually good at this game and know what we're talking about. We're just assholes. Sorry.
See you in 2 weeks.